This podcast is brought to you by JList.com. Right now, JList is giving out free Valentine's Day stickers of cute anime characters on all orders that you make. So don't forget, JList is a great place to find anime import PC and console games, Japanese snacks, figures of your favorite characters in both Nendoroid and regular forms, tons of anime-related magazines. They also have tons of hentai goods as well. So pretty much whatever you need, head over to JList.com for anime shopping needs and get cute anime Valentine's Day stickers for free with all orders. And now, time to start the podcast.
来てくれてありがとう You're listening to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Take your anime addiction to the next level at AAAPodcast.com/join. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Welcome to the 455th episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Wherever you're listening from, whatever you're doing, whether you're at work, in the car commuting to work, at the grocery store, in the gym, whatever you're doing, welcome to the podcast. It's great to have you. I am your host, Mitsugi. I am feeling pretty good today, basking in the glow of my New England Patriots divisional playoff round game. They have won and are moving to the 8th straight AFC Championship, so feeling good about that.
I know what some of those words mean.
Yeah, and now we have Kazuo sitting next to me on my right, wearing a Star Wars t-shirt with the Death Star on it.
Yeah, I guess I am. I didn't notice that. I often wear Star Wars t-shirts. Hello, everybody. It's good to be here today.
And hailing from Cincinnati, she's wearing jeans and a ferret t-shirt.
You don't know
It's
that.
Mandy.
Oh, that's me. But I'm not wearing those things.
Damn it.
I have sweatpants on and a Diva t-shirt.
I was gonna guess chainmail armor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was also
Nope.
gonna guess like a clothes made of like a manga cover, you know?
Oh, can I have one?
You can't have.
Thank you.
And that sweet velvety voice calling in from New York City. He's wearing a t-shirt. Over top of that, a long sleeve shirt. Over top of that, a jacket, a blanket, and then wrapped in a sleeping bag, it is Enzo from New York.
Are you really?
And believe it or not, that's not too far off. I got a shirt, a sweater, a hoodie, sweatpants, and I'm covered in a blanket talking to you guys because it is cold as heck in New York. But that does not stop me from being here. I'm actually so stoked to talk to you guys today. So let's.
Are you straight up doing like a Yoru camp right now?
I'm 100% like only my face is revealed, like a little. Like,
You're a caterpillar.
my oval face is just in front of the microphone, like no face.
That's great.
Right now.
I love it.
Yeah.
Broadcasting from a dry sauna, his nakedness himself, it is Enzo. Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast, guys. You can head over to our website, AAAPodcast.com/join. Help the podcast out. You can help us keep paying for things that we need to make this podcast great.
Help us keep the mics on.
That's right. Yep. Help us keep the mics on, the website running,
Keep me
paying
fed.
artists, voice actresses, all that stuff. We're going to give you our hobby addicts. We just recorded. We just did a topic show and tell, where all four of us brought a different topic to the table, and we discussed it. And if you would like to hear what those topics are, you can get our hobby addicts at AAAPodcast.com/join. We're going to do a hentai episode after the podcast today, so you're not going to want to miss out on that because not very many podcasts do hentai content.
Yeah, most of them have standards.
That's right.
But we don't.
We have no standards. That's a good point. You can also head over to our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/AAAPodcast, where you can join the conversations that are happening on Facebook. And, of course, you can reach our Discord channel, which has, I think, broken 900 people now.
Yep, it is over 900.
Over 900. And
We are over 900. Whoa.
What was that,
Crazy.
That was my over 900. So.
That was Mandy?
What, 900?
That was Mandy? What the heck?
So head over to
Yeah,
the
that's
Discord.
me.
And you can have all the fun on there. Also, of course, the Anime Oscars voting is going on still. It's going to be going on for a while now. It's going to be going on until probably for about another 3 weeks or so, I would say. you can head over to the website, and there's a big strip along the middle of the page. It says Anime Oscars voting, and you can go vote in all your favorite categories, including the worst of 2018, a.k.a. the Pooper Scooper.
The old Pooper Scooper.
That's right.
Poopa.
Also, I have an important announcement.
Oh, God.
The world...
After years of me telling you to do this,
I have made a Twitter. That's right.
spoken like a real old man, I have made a Twitter.
I made a Twitter account.
Join the Twits.
I joined the Twitters.
Yes, head over to the Twitters.
So
The Twitters with the bird.
I assume I will have a total of about 11 Twitter followers. So let's make sure I have at least 11. You can head over to Twitter and follow me at Pope Mitsugi.
Nice.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you can hear me give sermons on anti-moedom
Oh, boy.
and posting about the anime for the podcast and other anime-related things, but mostly
Ranting about the Patriots.
But you are free to do so now.
Yes.
Mostly it's teaching you how to deliver thine souls from the blight of humanity known as Moe. And in that moment, you shall find true salvation over at Pope Mitsugi. Thank you.
You
And
can also follow the podcast at AAAPodcast. Mandy at... What's yours? I forget.
You could have just asked me.
I know.
It
I was hoping I remembered, but then I forgot.
It is AAA_Mandy with an I.
And Enzo is at Enzo Badia.
ENZOBADIA. Please follow me. It looks good when I have a lot of followers and I reach out to people for the interviews and stuff. Come on, guys, please.
Yeah. And I'm at AAA Kazuo.
And I see I just got a new follower, so that's great.
Nice.
Oh, I want my phone to light up many times. Maybe I will prop the phone up somewhere we can see the followers come in. But the most important thing is that we have acquired a social media manager for the podcast.
Wow.
Because
Clap it up, guys. Clap it up.
That was
2019, boys.
That was the weakest round of applause ever. It was literally just me
you
and
guys
Mandy.
suck.
Sorry, I have a cat. I'm burdened.
I wanted to do a nice claparoo.
Because for the last, I don't know, let's be honest, 6 years probably, I have wanted to do lots of social media.
Sure.
But social media is time consuming.
Yes.
And I'm barely surviving as it is. And so, like, that just doesn't happen. It hasn't happened. But now we have a social media manager.
Do you feel like there might be a drop we could play that could maybe give the people a hint as to who the social media manager might
Do you
be?
think we can... Should I?
I feel
It's Dio.
Oh.
It's Dio.
Yeah.
It's not Dio.
It was not Dio. You
Damn.
thought it was Dio, but it was...
That's right. None other than
Renowned,
Icy Rose himself is our new social media
Yes.
manager,
prolific mailbag writer,
Prolific.
podcast historian.
podcast historian, renowned listener of the podcast,
That's right.
Airwave archivist.
the best host who is not actually a host.
True. Well, he would. Well, the problem is that he would show up all of us,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
so he would just make us look bad.
Well, and also he lives
So
on the
here's
other
the
side of
thing.
the planet, so
Well,
schedule.
that's something.
You can't beat your enemy. You make them join you. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's right.
So everybody, make Icy Rose feel happy and welcome on Twitter and Facebook, where he's been doing a great job for us already. So feel free to talk to him and be like, hey yo, Icy, what up? On the Insta chats and the
The what?
oh wait, what?
The Insta chats.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Grandpa
oh my
Mitz.
God.
He's been tweeting about my cat anime, and I am super appreciative of that. Thank you.
Insta chat and Facegram. Make sure that he make sure that he feels
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Face page.
That's right.
More
All right.
cats.
All right, so welcome Icy Rose to the team. Thank you. All right, now shall we move? All right, so on this episode, we're going to be talking about desired anime remakes. We've been having a lot of remakes lately in the anime world. Some that we want, some that we do not want. And we are going to be talking about some anime that we would like to see get remakes, because that way, when they start making them in the next 3 years, we can go, oh, that was us. We said that.
Yeah.
That's basically the plan. Oh, so suggested by BarinerBert from the Discord. So there you have it. If you join our Discord, you get to possibly have your topics discussed on the podcast. So
We are within like spitting distance of 1,000 people on the Discord.
Oh, 1,000.
Yeah, I mean, we're over 900.
Okay.
So I consider that to be spitting distance of 1,000.
Some would say that's closer to 1,000 now. Yeah.
Yeah. So help us get over the
Historians
hump.
would say that.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much. Every time I threw a tweet up about the Discord, like 7 more people would just flood in. So.
Yeah.
All right. So and also we're gonna be doing a review later on of Sirius the Jaeger. But first, we have our big news of the week, which is timely for this time of year. Woo!
おー、大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
Crunchyroll has revealed its nominees for their third annual anime awards.
Third annual.
Third annual. Yeah, we're on like our 8th annual.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean, Crunchyroll.
I mean, whatever. Shout out to them for trying.
Shout out for trying. We were here first.
We
So we're
definitely
actually-
have better production, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, if you're talking about just podcasts, yeah, probably.
I mean, do they have a podcast?
They used to.
Oh, okay.
I think it's called like fan service or something.
It was called Crunchycast,
Oh, okay.
but yeah. I mean, we obviously can't compete with Crunchyroll in
Right.
99
Yeah,
out of
that was the
100
joke.
ways.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
I
Now
know.
we're the smooth cast.
But in
Yeah.
podcast production, we were eons ahead of Crunchycast.
Yeah.
Anyway, so their anime of the year, it looks a lot like ours, but we have a few more on there. So you're going to notice a trend here amongst the nominees for these categories because, as was noted on several news articles, it's mostly the same anime on every category.
Is it all stuff that's airing on Crunchyroll?
No.
Really?
No.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
surprising.
yeah,
it's not.
yeah. They're fair that way.
Yeah, they're
which is
fair.
nice.
So the anime of the year, the nominees are A Place Further Than the Universe, Devilman Crybaby, Megalobox, Violet Evergarden, Hina Matsuri, and Zombieland Saga, which
Yep.
are all on ours, but then we have a few more that like SSS Gridman's on there and a few others. So how do we feel about these? It's a nice concise list.
I think so. My hottest take so far, and it's gonna carry over to the next two categories we're gonna touch on, is I personally didn't even consider Megalobox for anything this
Same.
year.
I'm with you.
Just because of how much, just because of the disappointment that one gave me personally, as the one that picked it for the show and everything. So to me, I think every other anime mentioned in every single one of these categories is worthy of the title, of being worthy of the nomination. Megalobox, personally, I don't know.
Well,
I'm a little.
cool.
I loved it.
It
I
really
think it
does.
deserves it.
I'm a little disappointed that
Megalobox? Yeah, okay.
I'm a little disappointed they're missing one of my favorite anime of the year,
okay.
Lupin the Third. Quite possibly the best season of Lupin we've had.
No. The second season.
The second best season we've had.
The second season of Lupin is the best season.
All right. Either way, a really, really freaking good anime that I would argue is better than half of the ones on this list.
Well, it's a very nicely balanced list here, and we're going to talk about I only put two of the categories up here, but because Devilman Crybaby and Violet Evergarden, neither of those are Crunchyroll shows. Those are both Netflix shows.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get a substantial number of votes. I actually expect that Zombieland Saga might win. I don't exactly know, but it's very popular. I mean, it's
Yeah, true.
It is popular, but it's popular. Well, it has momentum right now because it just came out.
True.
So that's why it's all over the social media feeds. But when I looked through the comments for Crunchyroll and they posted the category, it seems to be flooded with either Devilman or A Place Further Than the Universe. So I think it's between those two.
Yeah, I
Out
could
of
see.
all of the private lists that I've seen, like of YouTubers and people on Twitter, everyone seems to put Place Further Than the Universe either at number 1 or number 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah.
if that one wins.
I'm also betting on A Place Further Than the Universe over Devilman, even though I think the problem is it's more widely acceptable. You know what I mean? And that's really ultimately what this comes down to. It's a popularity contest.
I completely agree. I think A Place for the Universe will make it to more people and also be accepted by a larger margin of the people it made it to.
Yeah.
So
I struggle with the Megalobox pick, not because it's necessarily because it's on the best of the year, but it's on almost every category. And I just think Megalobox had so many issues. Like the writing was it came right off the tracks. And
yeah.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
But you had to watch the original.
You had
I
to
was gonna
watch
say
it
it's
with-
really beloved by the community.
Yeah.
I mean-
well, by people that have seen Ashita no Joe,
I mean,
I feel like. And I mean, I guess
I don't
just the
know.
community. Even people, I can't imagine everybody's seen Ashita no Joe.
I
Yeah,
agree with it in
it's-
some categories. Like I agree with it in character design. Okay.
Yes, me
I
too.
mean,
Actually,
some of the categories it makes total sense, but like for example, I didn't find the animation in Megalobox to be particularly stunning.
in some moments,
It was some moments, but
yeah.
like, come on, it's in there. It's in there with Violet Evergarden and Devilman Crybaby.
yeah, it's a bit much.
It's a bit much, but I don't know exactly how these get thrown together. The best animation nominees were Violet Evergarden. It's a lot of the same. Violet Evergarden, Devilman Crybaby, Megalobox, A Place Promised, and A Place Further.
Place Promised.
A Place Promised.
Yeah.
A Place Further Than the Universe, Bloom Into You, and My Hero Academia Season 3 for animation.
this one's kind of hard for me. I personally think it goes. I mean, I as much as I love the artistic decisions of Yuasa and Devilman, Violet is just
Mhm.
it's just wild. It's
Yeah.
it's like beautiful, dude.
I
Like,
think I'm the
everything in
same.
the show.
I
is
don't know if
ridiculous.
Hiroaka should be on the list for best animation. I mean, it's got good animation. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, I don't know if it's that. It's just pretty standard shonen animation. Like it didn't blow me out of the water. You know.
I'm trying to think of a show that I would put in there instead.
I
And the
put
thing-
Lupin.
Ooh,
On
there it
ours.
is.
Yes.
Yes, I think exactly. I think a show like Lupin could have definitely gone in instead of Bloom Into You or My Hero. Either one.
And
Bloom
for
Into You is very beautiful too, though.
Mm.
for the best character design, which is it's a very subjective sort of category, but Violet Evergarden, Devilman Crybaby, Zombieland Saga, Megalobox, it's almost identical. Agretzko
Yeah. That's funny.
and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind.
Heck yeah. JoJo all the way. They're fabulous.
Okay, I haven't really watched Agretzko, although I've seen a lot of the memes and stuff. Best character design, Mandy or Enzo, have either of you watched this? Do you agree with that?
I have.
It's funny.
I watched a couple with friends because it's a show that's it's like hyper relatable to like a lot of the people I know in my life, including myself. It's actually a really nice watch. It's really not bad at all. So it's really funny too. I can see why it's in the category because it is different. So character design to me isn't necessarily like what looks the coolest, but it's also like what is what is different that still works and it looks fine like in the context of their anime. I think Agretzko does that. Like it's very different designs to all the little animals and but it's cool, and when they express their emotions it's really like forthcoming in it. And I think I'm okay with it being in there. I'm actually okay with all the nominees in this category for different reasons. JoJo because they're ridiculous and they look fabulous, as Mandy said. Agretzko because it's very different. Megalobox, they look cool as hell in that anime. They really do.
Oh yeah, I like how the main character and
Yeah,
actually,
so
a lot of
I
characters-
think Joe looks awesome. Like
Yeah.
he looks awesome. I actually gave this one. I think I gave this one to Violet also, just because I'm a little biased to like steampunky Victorian looks. So
Oh, I voted for JoJo.
I actually sort of have an issue with this category in general, and not the individual entries in it, because I feel like this is a fine category to have, but I feel like you have to really carefully select the shows because, for example, Devilman being one of the prime examples, but Devilman and JoJo particularly, I mean, they're basically just transferring designs that were created decades ago from a manga to an anime. So
Yeah.
you're not really designing or creating anything. You're just
Might be.
basically just coloring them in.
Yeah.
And so like I understand the category, but to me it's either make them all original anime or make them all like based on light novels or don't have the category, because you're not actually. It's almost like having best music and then having every single song be from like classical. You're not
Yeah.
creating anything. You're just coloring them in. And
do you think
Devilman,
a better category would be like best original character design?
yeah, like so like that's why I feel like Violet Evergarden has to win this, because I think if I'm not mistaken, that was based on a light novel.
Yeah,
So
I think so.
And considering it's a light novel, they're gonna have to like conceptualize a lot of that art themselves. Whereas Devilman has been around forever, and like the actual character of Devilman is nothing new.
Right.
You know, it's kind of it'd be kind of weird to give an award to Devilman when no one really did anything. You know, and that's kind of how I feel about JoJo. and I guess those are really the only two. I'm not sure what Agretzko is based on.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Sanrio.
Sanrio. So even that.
Yeah.
Even that would be so. Like, I feel like it's got to be Violet Evergarden, Zombieland, or Megalobox.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely get what you're saying.
You understand?
I think it's fine though. Like, if the category were called like best original character design, then yes, I would say you got to be a little more selective. But if it's just, it's kind of a weird category in general because it's like, which characters do we think look the coolest is ultimately what it comes down to.
Well, it's also like I feel like they almost should roll this category into best animation, or change it to like best artistic interpretation maybe. So like take the entire show as a whole, like the backgrounds and just the style, like everything.
Yeah.
And not just the way the characters look. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. Does anybody know when the Crunchy Awards are actually happening?
Actually,
No
I
clue.
don't.
Well,
To the Google machine.
Someone in the chat will tell us.
But
I'm sure.
I tune in. Last year they like actually did a whole like award show, and I'll be tuning into this one too whenever it is. Cause I like that anime has an award show that people go to.
Yeah, man.
I think it's fun.
Yeah,
It's
it's
awesome.
cool. It's awesome.
I'm trying to Google it here. I'm not sure.
And on that note, make sure you go to our website and vote in ours, because as we're going to be doing ours, I think it's going to happen on like the 17th of February, probably something.
Gotcha. We
Something.
have a
Oh.
lot of categories too that
I
are
won't be here
interesting.
that day.
Let me check the date. It might be that day, or it might be a different day.
The
We
winners
haven't
will be
picked it.
announced on February 24th.
We'll work
Nice.
it. We'll work it so that everybody can be here.
Okay, because that's the weekend of my birthday, and I'm be at Disney World.
So, all right, guys. So, Crunchyroll, do a good job. Hope it goes well for you. And now we're going to head into the Notice Me corner with Enzo.
皆さんおめでとうございます Join us in Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner!
Yo, what's up? So this is Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner, where the listeners can write in and let me know about any accomplishments that they've recently achieved, or about stuff they're working on that they think is cool. Either way, please do let me know, because I want to notice you guys on the podcast so that you can get some encouragement and finish your thing. You know what I'm saying? So this one comes in from Mexicanadian. And they say, last Tuesday, November 27th, I completed my very first full course of Japanese basic class, and I intend to continue taking classes up to 2020. I have two goals: one, to travel to Japan in September 2020, and two, to further enhance my anime enjoyment with my wife. Wish me luck. So, personally, good luck, and that's so awesome you did that. I can relate to the enjoyment of being in class. I love being in classrooms. I love learning and being taught stuff. I recently also took Japanese classes as well, so omedeto.
Life is study.
Life
Life
is
is study.
Never stop learning, my guy.
And you know what?
Study, 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 study.
And you, my friend, are a Mexican, not a Mexicant.
That's right.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
Nice. Well, okay, but listen, there's a play on words because his username
His
specifically
username is
emphasizes-
Mexicanadian.
You're so
Yeah.
funny.
I know.
Oh my God. All right. Well, congratulations, and keep up with your studies. Japanese is a tough language, and it's something that requires, almost daily practice, I would say. So make sure
moto renshu.
make sure you stick with it. And if you ever get an opportunity to move to Japan, that's when your learning will really pay off for
Yes.
you, and that's when you'll be able to really take off in your learning. You'll use all your learning in your classes as a foundation that will set you up well for being able to learn how to speak really well in Japan.
Yeah, you'll get a really solid bicycle, and you'll ride around the country, and you'll meet women.
Yeah. Didn't he say he had a wife?
Oh,
He has
that's
a wife.
okay. Never mind.
Yes.
I was thinking of the plot for
Writing and reading
Golden Boy.
Japanese.
Boy.
Writing and reading Japanese isn't. I don't want to be discouraging, but it's almost not realistic for anyone that's not in Japan.
Yeah.
Simply because they spend literally 18 years learning how to write and read, and it's just you could literally make a life study out of it as a foreigner and still not get there. But you can definitely accomplish being able to watch anime and understand what they're saying and learning how to converse with others.
And be conversational, yeah.
And that's where the real like pleasure of language really pays off anyway, is being able to communicate with another like living person, not just being able to like read a road sign or something. So really focus on that, and I think that if you work hard, you can accomplish your goals, and you'll be able to, and you're going to see the dividends pay off. So stick with it.
And good luck, dude.
Good luck,
Gambate.
dude.
Ha, dude.
Gambate.
All right. So
And also, thank you to everyone who's tweeting cat pics. I want more. Thank you.
She wants more people.
all right. So I've had 2 Twitter followers now since we started, and
All
I
right.
expect there to be at least one more in sometime in the next 6 months.
Oh, hold on. I'll follow you real quick.
Okay. All right, guys. So now we're going to play what will be the last edition of Does Mitsuki's Mom Know for quite a while, I think. So I say that, but that might not be true. So we're going to play the drop, and we're going to pull someone in here to be our victim. It's time for Does Mitsuki's Mom Know? The game show that pits Mitsuki's unassuming mother against anime's most basic questions. Now here are your hosts, the Anime Addicts. All right, it's time for Does Mitsuki's Mom Know? And who do we have on the phone lines today?
Hi.
Hello.
What is your name and where are you calling from?
Josh. I'm calling from Washington
Ooh, is that Washington State or Washington, D.C.?
State. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Now, who is your daddy and what does he do? I'm just kidding.
What the fuck?
Just kidding.
That was really random. All right, Josh. Well, welcome to Does Mitsuki's Mom Know? I know you know the rules, but I'm going to explain them anyway for new listeners. My mom, she knows some stuff about anime. But does she know the answer to anime's most basic questions? We're about to find out, and your job is to guess whether or not she knows the answers to these questions, and if you get 3 out of 5 right, you are going to literally win. Not a whole lot, but
Something.
but you're going to feel good about yourself.
Oh my
And
god.
we're gonna hook you up with a small prize. And if you
Sounds
lose, children everywhere will cry.
Oh no.
Children like me will cry.
That's
you'll be,
not true.
and you'll be letting down millions of listeners.
I heard they were bad children.
No pressure, dude.
Oh, okay.
All right, Josh. So I'm gonna give you a practice question, and we're gonna see how you do with this question. Are you ready for your practice?
I am.
The anime Rurouni Kenshin features a main character with what name?
I mean, come on.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, how does she know that that's the name? That's the thing, right?
What do you know? Well, how much do you think she knows? Do you think she knows enough to know that the answer is in the question for this one?
She's surprised
Yeah, that's
me
what
in that I have asked her the simplest question I can think of, and she's missed it.
Yeah.
And then I've asked her questions where I think she can't possibly get this, and she nails it dead on the money.
She's very
So-
dangerous. Most dangerous.
It's
That's
a
right.
wild one.
I'm gonna think she does know. Yeah.
Okay. He says she knows it, and here's your answer. The anime Rurouni Kenshin features a main character with what name?
Roni Kenshin. I don't know.
I'm not going to give that to you.
Okay.
His name's Kenshin,
Oh, okay.
but you tried.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's it. Whether that was the correct answer or not was a little ambiguous, but that is the point of the game. So are you ready for your first non-practice, and best of luck to you?
Yeah. All right.
Good
All
luck, friend.
right, Josh, don't screw it
Oh,
up.
here we go.
The main character from Golden Boy nearly graduated from what kind of school? As
There's
Golden Boy being one of my favorite comedy anime ever. Very enjoyable show. But does she know that it is a? Do you guys know the answer?
Law school.
Law school.
But as I was going to ask you, are we looking for law school or are we looking for college?
I do not think college is descriptive enough of a law school.
Okay.
When you graduate from law school, you technically are a doctor. So
Doctor of Law.
juris doctorate or whatever. So we're looking for law school. So Josh,
I don't think she knows.
all right, am I locking you in?
Oh, lock me in.
Yeah.
The main character from Golden Boy nearly graduated from what kind of school?
Dental.
No,
Oh.
law school.
I thought he was one that
Not a
pulled
bad
everybody's
guess.
teeth out. Or pulled that old guy's teeth out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that was old boy.
Oh, old boy is what she's thinking of. Oh,
Gotcha.
wow. That's funny.
All right, Josh,
Wow.
not bad for a beginner, but don't get cocky, okay?
Don't get cocky.
Mitz, when was the last time somebody won this game?
People win, but they never win before the 5th question.
Dude,
Okay.
that's what gets me. That's what gets me the anxiety. Is we always go to question 5, and it freaks me out.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, I hope you win 3 in a row, Josh. Are you ready for your
come
next
on, dude.
question?
Oh, I'm ready.
Hajime no Ippo is an anime about what sport? We
She
all
knows it. What?
We all know it's boxing.
Yes.
I don't even need to think about that. Of course she knows it.
She knows.
Okay.
Meets has talked about this like maybe 100,000 times.
That is true.
You're not wrong.
That's a lot of times.
It's a lot of times.
That's almost as many
It
years
is-
as I am old.
Yeah. It's one of
Yeah.
Mitz and my favorite anime of all time.
It's true.
Same.
It's
put me on
something
that
special we
list.
care. Something special we share. Care. What?
Cosmo? Cosmo?
Oh god, he's touching my shoulder. I'm scared.
I love you.
Help me.
Wow.
Okay, Josh, am I locking you in? She knows it.
Yep, lock me in.
Show me potato salad! Hajime no Ippo is an anime about what sport?
Soccer.
Oh.
No. No.
Also
no.
known as football.
What?
Well,
No. Josh,
That
this is
took
not
me
your
out of
fault.
left field.
This is not. This is
she's
not
a
your
wild
fault,
card, Josh. I don't know what to tell you. But we're going to keep this rolling. You're 1 out of 1 now. You need to get 2 out of the next 3 correct. Those are the rules. Are you ready for the next question?
Ready.
This is the tipping point. You really need this one. The Tanuki from Pompoko fight with what part of their body?
Oh my god.
Oh dear.
Oh, dude.
Now, that is a Ghibli movie. However, she has missed Ghibli questions before. And, you're allowed to do a phone a friend of one of the hosts, by the way, except me.
What if he should phone you and then he has to tell if you're lying or not.
Why would I be asked when I know the answer to the question?
That's the thing is that you could
Don't ask me. I
deceive
don't
him.
know this one.
No, see, I don't want to deceive anybody.
Okay.
I want to make you
You
look
know-
bad, Cosmo.
Kazuo and Enzo are always the ones that get asked, so I want to ask Mandy.
Oh, that's so sweet, but I don't
one,
know.
the one who knows Mitsuki's mom the least. Bold move.
I can't even remember, so I'm gonna say no.
Same. That's my tactic for this one as well. I don't know, so I would say no.
You know what? As somebody who knows Mitsuki's mom, biblically, just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Good for her.
I will.
Oh.
I will agree with Mandy.
If it has to be anybody, Cosmo, I want it to be you.
Oh, thanks.
This is. Let's hear. What's the answer, Oni Senpai?
So the thing is that like I totally my impulse is no, but she hit me out of left field with the Hajime no Ippo.
You're shook. You're shook.
Oof.
But all
I'm
3
gonna say no.
Okay.
All right, am I locking you in?
Yeah, no.
The Tanuki from Pompoko fight with what part of their body?
Their tails.
Nice guess.
Oh.
They're nutsacs.
Oh, I was thinking of Pompoyo.
Okay.
Pompoyo.
Pompoyo?
Well done.
What?
I don't know
What
what
the heck is Pompoyo?
I don't know what Pompoyo
Is that
is.
like a Spanish restaurant run by cheerleaders?
I don't know what Pompoyo is.
Chicken.
Pompoyo.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Josh. You're now 2 out of 3. You only need 1 more of the next 2 correct.
Lock
doing
this
what-
out,
you're doing
Josh.
well.
You got this.
I got
Dude,
this.
You got this, dude.
first off, Pom Pom Pollo could be a great chicken restaurant run by cheerleaders.
Oh,
Okay
dear.
then.
This is
Josh,
just
are
saying.
you ready for the next question?
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
In the anime Chobits, where is cheese on Switch?
Oh no.
Nice.
Oh no.
Nice.
I hope she doesn't know this.
I doubt that.
I
We all
think there's
we all
definitely-
know that it's inside Cheese vagina.
Yeah.
Should
Yeah.
she have one? She's a
It's
robot
up in there.
girl. She's a robot. But that's where it is.
I think you asked a similar question in the past on Mitsuki's mom. Does Mitsuki's mom know? And I wanted to say she didn't know it. So I'm gonna say she doesn't know it.
She
Okay.
does not know it.
Now he's gotten 2 right so far.
He has.
So if he gets this right,
That's right.
he wins a fabulous prize.
He'll win something.
Yeah.
It'll
And
be
I don't make children cry.
it'll be early retirement at the least. At the most,
He could retire a solid 45 minutes early.
unbelievable riches
Right.
await you, and dancing girls, if that's what you desire. Okay. She does not know it. Yes?
Yeah,
your final
yeah,
answer?
sorry.
For the $1 million. In the anime Chobits, where is cheese on Switch?
In the middle of her back. Oh.
It's in her vagina.
Is it really?
So close.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Hell yeah.
Josh, for the many that have fallen before you, for all the children everywhere that were literally on the edge of their seats,
On the verge of tears.
you are a hero to us all, and I love you.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
honestly-
Josh.
Congratulations!
I feel like nobody has won this in months. You've broken a streak.
All right, Josh.
Yes, sir.
Well, I got to thank you
You
for playing
want
with
a
us.
brand new car.
I will reach
Yay.
out. I will reach out to you later at a later date and find out what exactly it is that you would like your prize to be.
What
But-
color your car you want?
Yeah.
Will it be pink or blue, or red or green?
Oh god, it would be pink.
Oh
Kidding
god,
me?
it would be pink. Nice. That's a man right there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Pink.
All right, Josh. Thanks for playing. Does Mitsuki's mom know? And we'll see you on the podcast next time.
Thanks.
Good job, dude. Thanks for playing.
And to all of you at home, this has been a production of NBC Radio.
When I was a kid, there was a house on my block that was hot pink.
Ooh,
And I was always like, that is a dope color.
is it though for a house?
I mean, maybe not for a house, but as like a 8-year-old kid, I was like, that's sick. I want a hot pink house.
All right, moving
It's a
on.
Barbie house.
We have the trivia. The trivia this week, the answer was Akame ga Kill, which is the third answer of our Pompadours. So well done. The answer for the winner for the week is Chibi Rob. So well done, Chibi Rob. Our good friend,
Hey!
our good friend from our Japan trip from a couple of years ago.
I know that guy.
And we are continuing.
Congrats, Rob.
We are continuing our Anime Thought Pompadour theme, and you can go to the website AAAPodcast.com, and you can play the trivia somewhere down towards the bottom of the page. There is the trivia. You can jump in on this last round before we give out another prize. And that's about it.
We also have our in-show weekly trivia question, Mitz, which we will answer after our news break.
Yeah, go ahead. Why don't you take care of that?
And that is, in the anime Sirius the Jaeger, which we'll be reviewing later on, what is the name of the town in which the Sirius, Yuli, is that how you pronounce it? Yuli?
You just saw they said it.
Grew up. Where did he grow up?
All right, and we'll have the answer to that. And also, Mandy's Manga Minute, and also Desired Anime Remakes, all next coming up on the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast, so don't go anywhere.
See you soon.
Hey, all you anime addicts, Mitsuki's here. Time to bring you your first helping of anime news. Leading us off today, looks like there's been some outrage in Japan after there was an assault of an NGT48 pop idol. There was a recent case in Japan of a popular female pop idol group that Maho Yamaguchi of Niigata Prefecture. She was assaulted apparently by two men in their 20s that forced their way into her entryway of her home on December 8th. The idol, Maho, talked to her management firm and told them what happened, but they apparently did not really do anything even after she spoke to them. And on Thursday, Yamaguchi appeared on stage for the group's 3-year anniversary event, took a deep bow, and expressed her apologies for quote-unquote causing trouble, which is such a Japanese thing to do for women. She said, quote, "I have something that I want to protect, and I've told you all about the incident this way," which is such a Japanese thing to not want to cause trouble, not break up the social harmony. So her fans empathetically responded by saying that she did not need to apologize, and a petition is now online for the firing of the NGT48's management group. So, a little bit of interesting cultural news from Japan. Next up, it looks like Studio Ghibli's going to have a musical program that's going to run on the NHK International Station. It's going to start on February 17th. The 45-minute musical is going to be hosted by the actor Ryunosuke Kamiki, and it's going to feature performances by other actors and actresses as well. The music, of course, done by Joe Hisaishi. They're going to have lots of good singers on there as well. And it looks like it's going to be like little stage performances for probably children that are themed after the movies. I see people hugging a giant Totoro, stuff like that. So you're going to have both video and audio, and it's going to be a musical event featuring Ghibli themes, which I would love to see this. And you'll probably be able to grab it online sometime in March, I'm guessing, after it's been aired on TV. Next up, a possibly large-scale film has been announced. Keiichi Hara is going to be directing a film adaptation of Sachiko Kashiwaba's Strange Journey from the Basement under the title of Birthday Wonderland. This coming from Warner Brothers Japan. Looks like some pretty beautiful art being involved with the movie. The synopsis is Akane, who has no confidence in herself, meets a mysterious alchemist, Hippocrates, and his disciple, Pippo, the day before her birthday. They ask her to save the world and names her the savior of the Wonderland. The two carry her into the underground room of an antique shop that leads into the colorful Wonderland, and the adventure to save the world begins. Definitely looks pretty interesting. The novel sold over 500,000 copies, so it's pretty popular. And we're going to have to look out for Birthday Wonderland when it comes out later in 2019. Lastly, for this news break, an anime adaptation of Naruto Shinden Oyako no Hi, which is a novel, is going to be created. It looks like this was announced recently in Weekly Shonen Jump. And they're going to be broadcasting this as part of the Boruto Naruto Next Generation TV anime for 3 weeks, beginning on February 10th. So this little adaptation of this Naruto novel is going to be a 3-week run within Boruto. So if you're a big fan of this book and you want to read this novel, you want to see this novel transformed into anime, you're going to be able to get it as part of your Boruto viewing coming up in this next year. This is Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break. Now, getting back to the podcast.
Now that we're getting to our main podcast topic, I just so happen to have found this perfect...
Let me guess. Another list?
Well, kinda. Not just any list, though. The greatest list to ever grace the internet.
Go on.
It's J-List, baby.
Did somebody say J-List?
That's right, my little Peruvian Pocky box.
What is...
Exactly. You like boxes, right?
I don't even...
Bingo! Everybody loves boxes. You know why people love boxes?
I don't know.
Great point, Enzo. Because boxes have things in them, and J-List boxes have tasty things in them.
What kind of...
I agree, Enzo. A wise man once said, life is like a J-List snack box. You never know what you're going to get, except you do. Snacks from Japan.
Hold on, are you telling me that...
If you go to jlist.com, you can sign up for the monthly snack box and get all kinds of delicious treats from the land of the rising sun.
Oh, man, I better...
Go, Enzo. Go now. Don't wait. Don't speak. Go to jlist.com and make your sweet candy dreams come true. You're welcome.
The Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast presents Kazuo vs. The Cat Bus.
What do you got for number one?
I have the cat bus from My Neighbor Totoro. Shichi Kokoyama Hospital.
Okay.
That's where the cat bus goes.
Yeah, but like, what are the cat bus's combat abilities?
It has the most powerful headlights in history on its eyeballs. It could blind you drastically with its eyeballs.
That's the worst.
It can run on telephone wires. You know how nimble that is? That agility.
All right,
such agility, such grace. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Does the cat bus not have about 10 legs?
Does it have 10 legs? Yes, true.
Do cats have claws?
Yeah.
How many claws does a cat have on every paw?
Oh, I don't know. Like
It's 5.
5? Okay.
That is 50 razor sharp blades coming at you.
Look at it.
It's like a bowling ball covered in butcher knives. It's coming at your ass. Yeah, that cat bus is terrifying. And that son of a bitch is coming at you.
It does look terrifying.
It's literally screaming all the time. It would take you to the Shichi Kokoyama Hospital after it beats your ass.
It beat your ass and take you to the hospital?
Yeah.
And now, back to the podcast.
Bringing you back into the sweet sounds of Chopin's Raindrop Prelude.
Ah, yes.
It doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah, dude, this was beautiful, man.
I love the intensity of like the whatever you call it, the part where we're coming back into the show, but mixed in with something so peaceful.
We'll see. The funniest way to do these background musics is to find ones that have ridiculous contrast.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Oh, this was so. I could listen to this for another like 10 minutes.
Guys, let's all just take a nap.
Doesn't it just sound like rain falling like on a rainy
You
day?
guys want to meditate real quick?
Chopin nails it. Chopin is.
All right,
he's
guys.
the
Tell me
fucking-
some of your
Everybody
dreams.
close your eyes. Just listen to my voice, okay?
Okay.
Close your eyes.
All right, I'm doing it.
Everyone, take a deep breath in. And let it out.
What is wrong with us? And so please read the intro trivia question.
before the break, we asked you guys a question, hoping you guys could answer it. The question was, in the anime Sirius the Jaeger, what is the name of the town in which Sirius, Julie, grew up? The answer is
Dogville.
Dogville.
Dugville.
Which is
Now on
probably
Netflix.
the dumbest name considering.
I try not to judge the names of cities in anime because it's whatever, but like Dogville,
yeah.
come on.
I bet it really exists. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah,
Look up Dogville. It
Somewhere.
probably does.
Whatever.
All
I know
right.
there's a TV show.
And now it's time for Mandy's Manga Minute. Are you ready
Oh,
to
yeah.
roll?
That's me. I'm ready.
And now, let's take a minute for the Manga Minute with Mandy.
Hello, this is Mandy's Manga Minute, where I take a minute to tell you about a manga to help you find something new to read. And this week, I just lost my cat. Bye. This week, I am reading Prophecy. Tokyo Police Department Cybercrime Division is headed by the young, brilliantly ruthless Yoshino Erika. Her track record has been solid, but when a news thread appears online, it starts making all the headlines. A man who goes by Shinbunshi, because of the newspaper mask he wears, begins acting as a vigilante of justice. His message is simple. He can see what is wrong with society right now. Although he doesn't have the power to change it, he can help the frustrated citizens release their pent-up anger from the crimes that go unpunished, like people treating others like trash, corrupt government pushing their weight around, and other issues that the person has no control over. Although it starts relatively harmless, it quickly snowballs out of control thanks to the power of social media. And the Shinbunshi becomes an overnight internet sensation, with the severity of the crimes exponentially increasing. Prophecy, or Yoko Kuhan in the Japanese title, is a mystery seinen series by Tetsuya Tsutsui. There are 3 volumes total, and all of them have been translated into English by Vertical Comics. I've only read volume 1, but I am planning on buying the other 2 because I'm interested. And it's such a short series, I might as well finish it. But the manga feels like sort of like a more realistic version of Death Note, where with crimes that really hit close to home in our current society. It covers a lot of issues that we find on the internet today, such as flame wars, viral videos, becoming famous overnight or also defamed overnight, and the true power of social media. The crimes that this paperboy commits are very similar, or very small at first, such as taking a person who is accused of putting cockroaches in their school's food and then forcing that person to eat deep-fried cockroaches. They start out very, like,
gross.
Just assaults. But the responses left online on the videos caused the crimes to escalate very quickly, such as burning everyone who's involved with like a mass poisoning incident. I found it to be interesting to see the kind of comments that were left on the Twitter videos, or the videos that were posted on Twitter and YouTube. A lot of the comments left me thinking, oh yeah, I could definitely see this being a thing, like in the real world. But it's really fascinating how quick the internet is also to condemn the cops who are trying to catch the person. And it's very reminiscent of Death Note. And if you're a fan of works that dive into the morality behind vigilantes, or looking for something very short to read, then give this one a shot.
All right.
I don't know. Do you think that like deep fried cockroaches might possibly taste good?
Oh God!
Possibly.
There are several places in the world that they do fry insects like that.
Right?
Yeah.
I've had
and eat cockroaches.
I've had grasshopper before,
Kara age
and that was
I've
good.
had mealworms.
Cockroach.
I haven't had cockroach. I love how we call it cockroach though, when it's actually cockroach.
Cockroach.
Yeah.
I've had mealworms. I've had crickets.
That comes from. I think that comes from like me and my growing up with the word cucaracha.
Yeah. Or I think I was thinking caca.
Does anybody know how to say cockroach in Japanese?
I don't.
Cockroach. No.
Rochu.
Kakarochu.
Gokiburi.
Goki booty.
Gokiburi.
Goki
Interesting.
Okay.
Would not have guessed.
All right. So, our topic for today is desired anime remakes suggested by BarinerBert. So, thank you very much. Again, if you would like to submit topic requests, how it works is we have a section on the Discord. People go in there all the time and they're writing, I think it'd be cool if you did this. And then whenever I'm picking like,
And then we say, shut up. You're not the boss of me.
so you guys, no.
No,
I say no. And then when I'm updating the website, I'll say, okay, well, we need two new topics. So I'll go through and I'll read the thread. I'll read the channel on the Discord, and I'll put little hearts next to the ones I like.
Aw.
And that's how I remember the ones that I think sound good. And then, so if you want to join the Discord, you can go on there and you can maybe be help contribute to being what is very much a listener-driven podcast.
Yeah. We're here for you guys.
So it is very much a podcast of you, the
Yeah.
listener. So
Of
we
the
want you
people.
to contribute.
We're very obviously here for you.
That's right.
Because, there's no other reason to be doing this.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, I love you guys, but like, I really just like talking to listeners.
So I think this is a difficult topic. It was tricky for me because there are some shows that are too recent to need a remake.
Yes.
And
there are
then-
some that are too good to warrant a remake.
And then there are ones that are old enough for a remake, but they're just sacred,
Yeah.
and you don't want to step on that sacred ground.
Right.
And so that was part of my dilemma with this topic when I did it, when I was making my picks. But I made a few picks, and I'm going to lead off here. And I'm going to start off with a show that I think is very fun and would really be enjoyable still today. And there aren't a ton of anime like this today, and I would like to see more of it. And that is New Dominion Tank Police, which is a 6-episode OVA from 1993. It is about a crime-fighting unit in a city called Newport City that they use tanks in their crime fighting, and they take on terrorist threats, and the tank police are
Powered by menthol, I believe.
they're often what?
Newport. Menthol.
Oh, for
Never mind, forget it.
God's sake. They're often they're often overpowered by the criminals, but they are like always racing through cities and damaging the buildings and causing explosions and having high-speed chases. And it's just a really cool series that was originally, the original creator is Masamune Shido. And
Sounds familiar.
and it's a pretty old property because even the New Dominion Tank Police, which is what I watched when I was a kid, is a remake of another one that came out even earlier. And Masamune Shido, if you're not familiar with what he did pretty much all the Appleseed stuff, a lot of the Ghost in the Shell properties. So he's done a lot of stuff, and so this man is prolific already. His name carries weight, and I think a new Dominion Tank Police would be really fun. So, have any of you guys seen Dominion?
I have not.
I have not.
I have not.
Okay, well you should check it out. It's a 6-episode OVA. 6-episode OVA, so it's really short, and it was done by JC Staff back in the 90s. All right, that was Old Man Mitsuki pick number 1.
Mondo.
Oh, me? Okay, well, my first one was Vampire Hunter D. I want a remake, or just something new, and preferably by Netflix.
That would be dope.
Okay, so I'm curious
Yeah.
as to why you say that. That's interesting to me.
Gee, I wonder why. Actually, I was thinking more along the lines of Castlevania.
Oh yeah. Okay. I can totally see that actually.
Yeah. So Vampire D. The last one we got was 2000, and it is about Vampire Hunter D, who is a half vampire, half human, and he has like a cursed left hand that has like a face in it, and he can like swallow things with it. It's great, but yeah, I don't know. I think Netflix would definitely do it some justice. I think because. Yeah. Castlevania is already so popular, and while I was thinking about it, I was like, man, Vampire Hunter D, if they brought that back, I think Netflix would do a good job with it.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I agree completely.
Especially if they're like, they just go balls out. Like
it's dark. It's dark. It fits. It seems to fit Netflix's MO of going for a little more mature anime.
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I think it's.
And then
I
letting
think it fits.
and then letting studios like do what they do. So
I also wouldn't be shocked to see Netflix do like a Hellsing.
Oh yeah.
oof.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
I
would
would
be cool
love
too.
that. Holy shit.
I mean, Hellsing doesn't really need more content. There's already plenty of it, but I think Vampire Hunter D feels a little better to me. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think you're right.
All right. Well, I have like 6 things on my list here. So I don't know how many we want to do, but I'll just start from the top.
Pick your favorite.
The first one that I thought of is Gundam 0079. Obviously, we've gotten Gundams like
Interesting.
nonstop, for the past 40 years.
Yeah.
But Gundam 0079 is the original Gundam and one of my favorite. And it's a really good story, about the Principality of Zeon, and you have Char Anzanoble in there and stuff. And it's just a really good story, but it's super old at this point, so I think it could really merit just a remake. Not a reimagining or retelling, like anything like that. Just literally just remake it with modern day technology and animation. And you might have to rewrite a few things because there are some moments in the original Gundam that probably wouldn't fly with today's standards. But I think that would be awesome to see because it's a show that I love and I feel like not a lot of people have seen nowadays.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the older you get, the less likely it is that people have seen it.
I don't think I ever even finished. I don't. Okay, well, English. Whoa. I
Whoa.
don't think I've ever even finished Gundam 0079. I'm pretty sure I watched a lot of it, but not much. Not.
It's
I
fun.
think Kamiya's in that one. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty
Oh,
sure that's the
God,
one I
Mandy.
watched because Kamiya was in it.
I think Gundam is one of those properties that is eternally trapped in its own greatness because people look at it and they say, "Well, I don't even know where to begin with this." There's so much of it. It's almost like One Piece, right? It's pretty rare to hear a person say, "I'm going to start One Piece from the beginning."
Yeah.
Like nobody wants to
Yeah.
do that. And so Gundam, I feel like, is living off of its fan base that has been watching Gundam for a long time, and so they don't have to make such a daunting investment to catch up. And that's why Gundam today is making stuff like Gundam Build Fighters and stuff like that because they're trying to get younger kids into it
Right.
now. And they're just saying, well, we're just going to jettison all the old shit because some new viewer is not likely to watch that.
Yeah. And I mean, really, you don't have to watch the old stuff. Like, I mean, there's plenty of jumping on points for Gundam, but for me, this is just something that has a place in my heart.
I mean, look at this. The original Gundam doesn't even have, it only has 72,000 people have seen it on my anime list. That's like not very much.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
Nah.
I have
Means
not seen it.
Ain't nobody, I haven't seen it.
I have.
Okay.
I've seen it many times, multiple times.
Oh, well, good on you then.
Yeah.
To a credit to you. Okay. Pillow Man.
What?
Pillow Man.
Pillow
Who?
Man.
Blanket Boy.
Blanket.
Blanket.
Oh, Enzo.
Okay, I understand. I got no. I'm sitting in a chair, Mitsugi.
With a blanket and a pillowcase.
Oh God. Okay. So
You're a blanket
Yes.
burrito right now, aren't you?
I'm 100%.
He is. He's a caterpillar.
Do you have guac
Like-
on?
like-
do you have guac and salsa or what?
I could go for a burrito.
He's saucy.
I'm saucy. I'm definitely saucy.
Is
I'm
it a chicken? Is it a chicken burrito? Is it beef? Like what
No.
is it?
Oh, you know what? It is a grilled chicken burrito. It is.
Okay, I'm just asking.
It is.
Okay.
Some
Yes,
important
it is.
details.
That's fair.
Yes, of course. Okay. So my first pick is something that is. So some will argue it's recent. Some will say classic Enzo, think it's something new, but I refuse because
I do what I want.
I do what I want, and I just need Beck to come out again and just done better. And here's what's going on. I love Beck. Beck is important to me. Beck is my life. Beck is why I am me. All these things, but I cannot. And I've watched Beck. I think I counted. I think I've watched the whole show like 20 times. Like more
That's
than
awesome.
20.
That's awesome.
Yes. I literally love that show, but it has a lot of issues. It really does. And as I get older, and even when I was first watching it, I was very like cognizant of the fact I was like, oh, this is not a perfect show, but it was hitting my heartstrings that it didn't matter. And it still doesn't because it holds a very special place to me. But the show has a lot of issues. It has pacing issues. It has a lot of dialogue that feels empty and drawn out for no reason. It depends too much on ambiance sometimes. The animation is not pristine. the CG they use on the performances are cool, but they will not cut it. They don't cut it for me in what my eyes like anymore. And the colors are very dull. I think that show has so much potential that has not been touched yet in the music anime world. There hasn't been that much music anime that goes through a young kid's life that hard, through like touring and playing huge stages and stuff. The closest was Kids on the Slope, but Kids on the Slope tends to be more drama romancy than what Beck is. So I think there's space in the market today for an anime about a young kid that Destiny takes him towards a dude that teaches him guitar, and then he finds himself through music, and then goes on to tour. I want a different studio to do it. I don't want Madhouse to do it. I would like if like KyoAni took this show and just like animated it to hell or something, and to good hell. It animated the hell out of it. And I like KyoAni's music sensibility as well. I think they would do a good job. I also wouldn't mind if the team of Kids on the Slope took Beck and took that story to where it is. I think Beck would be perfect in like 15 episodes at most, with maybe like an OVA that would show Koyuki, Ryusuke, Taira, Chiba, and oh my god, and the drummer's name Sato. I forgot his name. But
dude,
in the future.
I think I totally agree with you. And for me, it's just I just want to hang out with those characters again.
Yeah, man, me too. I
want to know
Chiba. I want to see Chiba so bad, bro.
I just want to know what they're up to, man. Like
same, dude.
I mean,
same. I think there's space for that show to come back and like really do music right. In terms of like rock and roll and shit.
Are you prepared to see all of like your cool rockers be turned into like pretty boys or like KyoAni? All they do is all they do is like moe everything. Everything KyoAni. I'm looking at their list right here. KyoAni literally has about 4 shows that even have guys in them at all. I mean,
no, the thing is if they took
and that's free
is KyoAni, right? Like if they took free and then just like change their focus to you really portray music and rock, and like if they took free KyoAni and then like took what Beck is now and mix all that in, I think I would like that product.
I only rock free.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just like the way they animate a lot, and I would trust them to do, because I want like fluid music performances is what I want. And K-On does that, but K-On doesn't really perform ever or make music that I would listen to. So yeah,
all right.
But that's Beck. I want Beck to come back and be good and like really good.
What if it comes back and it's shit?
Well, that's not what we're talking about.
You're playing with fire, though, buddy. Like,
well, that's the beauty of if it comes back and it sucks, then you still have the original.
You still have the original,
and I'll watch it for the 21st time.
It's about legacy.
Yeah, no, not. See, that's the problem that a lot of like modern day like super fans have, is that like something will get there'll be like a new version of something that comes out, or like a new Ghostbusters movie or a new Star Wars movie or what have you, and people will freak out if it sucks. But it's like, dude, that doesn't change the fact that you still have the original. Like if let them try to make something new, and if it's good, awesome. If it sucks, whatever, ignore it and just stick with what you have already.
Okay.
You're not, you don't lose anything.
All right. Next pick from me is the Read or Die OVA.
Nice.
Nice, dude.
Not the Read or Die TV series, but the OVA. I would like this 3-episode OVA, which runs about, probably a total of an hour and 40 minutes. I would like to see it slowed down a little and broken out into maybe 12 episodes. And the reason I say this is because the Read or Die OVA is definitely a beloved property. It's 17 years old at this point, and which means that people don't know it. It's too old. People don't know Read or Die.
Mm-hmm.
And it's super translatable to today. It's about a girl whose name is Agent Paper, and her power is that she can manipulate paper to do basically whatever she wants.
Yeah.
Like there's a scene where she's chasing down like a criminal in a city, and she jumps off a building and creates a giant paper airplane with her paper and like glides through the sky with it.
So cool.
She turns the paper into like a sword and fights Son Goku, the Monkey King, at one point. Like there's some badass, amazing fight scenes in Read or Die. It will be, and the music is awesome. Very like James Bondy, really cool music. The characters in it are really likable, and like the Read or Die OVA, it's just one of those things where you watch it and you think, wow, this was amazing, and it's only 3 episodes. I wish there had been more of it. Originally came out by Studio Dean in 2001. So, for those of you that haven't seen the original Read or Die OVA, it's worth going back to check it out. I think my recollection of it would be that because it's an OVA, it's going to hold up pretty well. But sometimes it's not about making another show just because the old one looks bad. Sometimes it's about reintroducing a property to the market. It's one of those weird things. It's like I can sit here and say, "Oh, the Read or Die OVA is great," but because it's 17 years old, people aren't going to go watch it.
Yeah.
The minute you re-release it into a new season, everyone's watching it all of a sudden. So honestly, I think that if you were to reintroduce the Read or Die OVA today as like a 12-episode show, maybe even like a Noitamina thing, maybe like 11 episodes, maybe.
Dude, yeah, I think it would be perfect at Noitamina, dude.
And put that out today, it would be one of the most watched shows of the season. Because people know the name Read or Die. Mm-hmm. It's got a snazzy name, but they haven't gone back and watched it yet. And I think I think Read or Die OVA is primed for a re-release.
I like it.
Yeah.
My next one was Magic Knights Rayearth because it's a really old Clamp series. And actually, I think it did really well right now with how big Isekai is, because it was also an Isekai about these 3 girls who are on a field trip to Tokyo Tower, and then they are summoned into this fantasy world by a magister named Clef. And he tells them that this princess summoned them into their world to save Sephiroth, which is the name of the world that they're in. And so, I don't know. I feel like it would do really well with the current like isekai, how that has blown up right now. And it has also been a really long time since I've seen it, and I kind of just want to revisit it and have an excuse to do so. But yeah, I think it would look good with like updated graphics, and yeah. No, we don't really have any isekais now with female protagonists either, do we? Do we?
Nothing currently airing that I can think of, but there's been a few, like in recent years. But now all I can think
of is 12 Kingdoms. That's all I could think of.
Yeah, Yona of the Dawn, but that was like a couple years ago.
That wasn't an isekai.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It just feels like an isekai. It
felt like it.
It felt like it, right? But yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. There's really not.
Magic Knight Rayearth is a good pick. That show is pretty old and very classic, and I would like to see that released. I actually just thought of another good one that I probably mention it, but won't talk about it.
Man, I don't know which one to say next.
Choose with your heart.
I know. Okay, because Enzo mentioned Beck, I'm gonna go with something that gives me a similar feel. Just because it's like I just want to be around those characters, and I want to.
Oh my god! I just wrote that one down. Holy shit! I didn't realize you had it on your list, dude.
All right, I'll leave it.
Okay. Oh my god!
I'll let you take that one.
I'm so happy that we're friends.
Yeah, I'll let you take that one then. All right. In that case, ignore that. I'm gonna go with. All right, I'm gonna go with a wild card here. All right.
Oh, do it.
I'm gonna go with Speed Racer.
Oh, see,
I
agree, bro.
I think we need a modern telling of Speed Racer. Speed Racer is like, obviously a monumental, classic, original anime, kind of like really brought anime to the States, even though a lot of us nowadays kind of just see it as a joke. But I do think that there's something there that you could bring that to a modern audience and obviously rework it and change some of the way it's dubbed.
Christina Ricci.
Oh, yeah. Didn't they have the live action movie?
She was looking good.
Oh my god!
Oh, she was.
Relax. But I think Speed Racer. I mean, I'm thinking of like Redline. Like, make a new Speed Racer in the style of Redline, and that would be insane.
But it would bankrupt whatever studio.
It would bankrupt.
That is true. Okay, you got to dumb it down a little bit.
A little.
Yeah.
You can't go balls out, I guess. But I would love to see like a new modern Speed Racer.
Give it to Madhouse. Give Speed Racer to Madhouse.
Hell yeah.
Try.
I want to see a re-release of Redline. I don't think it was good enough before.
No, the Redline is yeah.
It's impossible to make that look better. It's impossible.
To make that look better.
Oh.
But yeah, that's kind of my.
I think that would be cool. It has characters. It has a cool environment to play in. Like it would be, and the races could be so sick.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you could just throw in little like touches to like the original, and I think that would do great. And they've done stuff like that with Blackjack and with like the Astro Boy series. What's it called? I forget what they called it. But they did one recently.
I don't know, but let's just not half-ass it like they did with the Blackjack one, because that was rough.
Yeah, it was okay. But yeah, I'd like to see that. I think that'd be fun. I think it's totally, it's been long enough, even since the live action movie, to warrant it, and I think it could be fun.
It's funny that Blackjack's initials spell BJ, because that's pretty much what they gave Blackjack every episode in that freaking series. It was grotesque. Okay. It was like listening to Chris Collinsworth talk about Peyton Manning. Okay.
All right, Enzo.
All right. So the anime that I'm assuming you were gonna talk about this one because you had it highlighted on your thing.
Yep.
But the anime Kazu was about to mention is an anime that I think there's definitely space for, and it falls into. So I have this policy with anime where like, if the characters are older than high school age, you should watch. You should try it, because those stories tend to be very solid, and those characters tend to be very nice to watch because they're like full-fledged adults and people. And the anime is Genshiken, and Genshiken is sick. It's a masterfully done slice of life, in my opinion. It is about a group. It's about a club in college. So all these characters are in college. They are in a club that is related. I forgot what the club name is, but
I can't remember.
It's where they get together and they discuss anime, they discuss Gunpla, they discuss cosplay, they go to Comic-Con, they write manga, all that stuff. Like it's just a nerd like community club, and there's really no plot. There are subplots with romances and stuff, but like it is literally just a show about these friends being together and enjoying their college life.
So the club is the Society for the Study of Modern Visual Culture.
Boom. That's what yes. Wow. Fuck. Thank you for looking that up. But so I think there's space for that. One, because most club anime are high school, and that has there's always a place for that because that's what anime does usually. But there's a bigger place for a college slice of life. Let's think about it. I mean, when I think about college anime or like adult anime that I like that are slice of life, I got there's Honey and Clover, there's Nana, there's Norame Cantabile, and those three are like one of my favorite. Those are like three animes that are my favorite, and they're usually, I tend to lean that way because they're older and like their themes are more mature, and the characters can do more things and not be like embarrassed to do things because they're young.
Yeah.
So I think Genshiken would be great to see done again. The anime, it's pretty old. The animation could totally use a bump up, and as long as the writing stays very honest and nice to watch, it would be really nice to see it again.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like modern stuff you can do with it in the story itself. Like, technology has evolved, and so the characters, the way they would interact with each other, would have evolved since this show originally came out. Like now, instead of maybe being in a physical club room, people are meeting on the internet and all of that. So there's a lot of like new stuff you can do with that and to sell it to a new generation.
Yeah, dude, I'm it's crazy. I was like, let me look up an anime I could talk to. And I was like, oh my god, I should mention Genshiken. And I was typing out Genshiken, and I looked up, and you had it, and I was like, Kazuo, I love you. Wow,
thank you.
Wow.
That's also our next manga club book.
Genshiken?
Really?
Oh hell yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
This Wednesday we're reading Opus, or we'll be discussing Opus this Wednesday, and then on the 30th will be Genshiken.
Wow, nice. Maybe I'll read it too.
I'm not gonna hold my breath.
All right, so my next pick, I think, is one that we've been waiting for nearly 30 years. Actually, a little over 30 years.
I agree.
I'll give you a hint. Come on. 戻れない I'm just kidding. We don't need a remake of this. Is the world ready?
I don't know if the world.
I don't know, man.
don't know.
Yes.
That's how hard call.
It's so violent though.
I know.
Oh wait.
Why is it violent, guys?
I was just kidding. That's not really.
I don't think you could. It's so 80s that it's like we're not.
No,
the
they
time
can't.
has
We
passed.
can't.
Although
We
everything.
can't.
What
is,
if they did remake it and end up being an amazing anime?
No, that would
Instead of,
ruin
like, one of the
everything.
worst?
everything is cyclical.
Stop it. All right, that was a joke. Okay, moving on. Okay. So,
Dude, it might come back. Like you remember a few years, like a decade or so ago when bell bottoms came back.
dude, please.
And then hula
never-
hoops?
No, please. All right.
Jinko jeans.
Now, I want to ask a question.
Go jeans.
I want to ask a question because this anime is almost too beloved to have a remake.
Okay.
But, and it's not super old, although it kind of is.
I don't know where you're going with this.
But, well, all right, so it's GTO.
Oh.
And let me ask you a question. And the reason why I say this is that GTO, it's the 38th ranked anime on my anime list. The manga is ranked even higher.
I'm gonna need you to sell me on this because I'm immediately thinking no.
All right, so it's fine. I put debate on the doc, as you
Okay.
see. It is a legendary show with the greatest teacher of all time. One of almost everybody who watches GTO, instantly one of their favorite characters of all time.
Right.
However, it is 20 years old and it looks horrific. The animation is so bad that like it has that problem where like things that aren't moving like vibrate a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they didn't do a good job of like laying the acetate cells down when they were doing it. It just the only reason why I suggest it is because what if they made a show that was the exact same thing? They're not changing anything about it, but they're just bringing the graphics up to modern state because it looks rough even for 1999. Like
Yeah.
other shows in 1999, kick the crap out of GTO and it's in the way that it looks, and that's why I'm asking. It is. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I just wanted to see what you guys thought about it.
So my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Oh,
dude.
okay.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
My opinion is that it doesn't. The only reason that I can see for it being remade would be the animation because the story is still fantastic. The characters are still incredible. All of that, and something about its janky animation kind of gives it. I don't know. It maybe it's just my bias, but it makes me feel good. It's like this is my childhood, you know.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's enough of a reason to warrant a remake.
Enzo?
I'm 50-50 because so for example, like Beck kind of has a similar it's like Beck is like in between what GTO's animation is and what modern animation is. It's like right in the middle. So I can totally see why a super fan of GTO like Mitsuki would want it to come back and look better. But I also think it is part of the charm because a lot of GTO that I remember that makes me happy is the ridiculous facial expressions that are in the show. And I feel like modern animation is too clean for that. You know, is that weird? Like, is that weird to say? Like modern anime is too like it's too clean looking to have like ridiculous facial animations. Like, for example, like in an anime I have on my list, I don't know if we're gonna get to it because of time, but like I have Ippo on my list too. But I'm also now thinking like, do I want Ippo to be remade? Because a lot of Ippo that I love that I find charming is when Ippo's getting like, you know, like they're cutting ass on him, like his friends, and like he has like a ridiculous face on or something, you know, to exaggerate that he's embarrassed or something. So like I would probably vote no on GTO.
Okay.
The only way I would vote yes is if they released like a movie.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I totally I agree with what you're saying about the animation and everything. I feel like that is part of the story, is that it does look so it's hand drawn and kind of like if they could maintain the style, I can't. GTO is not that clean and crisp. And
No,
like
definitely
neither in animation nor in the characters. Like they're not meant to be. They're not meant to be beautiful, shining characters. So it's like you would have to maintain that grittiness
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I will say one short final thing about GTO is that there's a lot more of the manga, and there's like spin-off mangas and stuff. For God's sake, let's have more Onizuka because he's the fucking man.
Yeah.
He's the fucking man. He just is.
No, for sure.
Like Onizuka, like I would ride with Onizuka on his motorcycle.
Dude, he's the reason why I became a teacher for a couple of years.
Onizuka is literally the shit. And anybody listening who hasn't seen GTO, you need to go watch some of GTO. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Oh, geez. What do I want next? I put down Skip Beat because they left out a whole gigantic, massive chunk of the manga. They only adapted such a tiny, tiny portion of it, and I would love to see the rest of it. Yeah, Skip Beat was, and who did Skip Beat originally? It was
The company that brought you Skip It.
Howl Filmmaker, apparently. Yeah, so it was a like shoujo show about a girl who her crush is this very popular idol and also is her childhood friend, and she is living with him in apartments, and she thinks that they have something going on because she's just head over heels in love with him, and then she finds out that he's been using her. So instead of moping around about it, she decides she's going to become an actress and kick him out of the spotlight. And so where the anime left off was a very awkward part where the story was actually just starting. Like she had just started like becoming an actress, and there's so much more. That manga is still ongoing. There's like, I don't even know how many, 38
ongoing?
volumes or something.
Are you serious?
Yeah, let me see
Dude,
how
that
many.
show came out forever ago.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I don't know what volume they're on now. I'm trying up. Oh, they're at past 40 now.
What the fuck, dude?
42, I think. I don't know, but it's a lot. So there is so much more to read, or so much more to adapt. So it'd be nice if they brought that back.
Whoa. Did not expect that to be still ongoing. Wow.
Yep.
All right, Kazu, you're
All right.
up if you want to put one out there.
All right. Oh boy, let's see. Where do I go from here? All right, I've got 3 left on my list. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna keep things interesting. I'm going with Zoids.
Oh my god.
Hell
What?
yeah, dog.
Zoids is
Zoids.
a cool concept.
You just
I'm
blew
not
my
gonna lie.
mind.
What was that, Enzo?
I can see that because Zoids is a cool concept.
Yeah. And it could definitely. Modern technology and animation, like it would make that sick. So
Yeah, because Zoids was fun. It was a fun show.
It was a fun
They were always
show.
competing.
It was a
Like it
fun
was like a
show.
game, you know?
yeah, it's like this. It's almost like a mobile suit, but also like kind of a Beast Wars type vibe. Like it's these mechs that are like animals of sorts.
They were very reminiscent of like the Voltron.
yeah,
Right,
kind of like
Tigers or whatever.
I just binged all 8 seasons of Voltron, which, by the way, is an amazing show. Holy
there
fuck.
are 8 seasons now.
Yes, and I binged all of it in like a week.
I think
bro.
it's done, by the way.
It was crazy.
That is
But
nuts.
if I think of Voltron and you're gonna tell me that you can make a Zoids thing new, I'm all in. I'm all fucking in.
Yeah, that would be sick. I mean, I can just see. Yeah, ultimately, like, just the animation would be a lot of fun, and the show itself, the story was kind of weak overall, but it's not meant to be anything super thought provoking or anything. It's just mechs fighting, like mech animals fighting each other in competitions, and that's what I want to see.
Yeah, but there's a lot there. There's a lot there though, dude. Like there is potential. Like there's the rivalry potential. There's the ever growing competition potential. There's the oh no, something happened, I have to win with a handicap potential.
Yeah.
There's you can always put romance in there. You can always throw in like a vengeful story too. That's a lot. Like that's awesome. Like that's a good pick, I think.
Yeah. So Icy Rose says something called Zoids Wild came out recently. I have no clue what that is, but I'm looking it up.
All right. Next up.
Oh, is it me again? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I only had 3 anime that I think I thought about because I'm like heavy on the team of like remakes are cool, but like I don't really like look forward to them too much because I do treasure the originals. But I do think that and I had Ippo, but was like now I'm thinking maybe not because of the way
Yeah.
that GTO discussion went. Like I do think Ippo's charm is
Well-
heavily built in the way it looks. But
and
I
we've
think
had
there
Ippo.
is-
Like they've been extending it. Like
Well, it's been a few years, but
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
talking
but,
about original Ippo, like the first season of Ippo. I think there is space to make that a cleaner, like story wise, like a cleaner, quicker, still heartfelt anime. But I kind of don't want to like put it out there anymore. I don't want to like put it on the list anymore because I'm realizing that it's fucking awesome, and I don't really want to have it remade.
Ippo's inspirational.
yeah, I just want more Ippo. Like I don't know if
I just want more Ippo.
I'm just gonna read through the rest of mine real quick, and not talk about them generally because I want to leave plenty of time for the review of Sirius the Jaeger and stuff.
Sure.
I just want to say that I generally don't support remakes. I find that it's too. There's not a lot of good reasons to make remakes. I think that one of the primary reasons is that people are trying to make more money off of a property that was already successful before. Sure. That's not a good enough reason. And if another reason is to like bring a property up to speed, like graphically, or to reintroduce a property to like newer fans, well, that's definitely not a good enough reason either, because fans of anime just need to, what is the word? Like man up and go explore what anime has to offer beyond what's coming out today.
Yeah.
And so like I don't think there's virtually not a whole lot of. Now, if you're going to remake a show and like add another, if you're going to do what Hunter x Hunter did, which is let's bring out Hunter x Hunter again and add another like 100 episodes onto it, you know, okay, fine. But that's not really remaking it.
Or like
at that
Kino's
point.
Journey, what they did, where they just basically told different
more stories.
Yeah.
But like if you're just gonna like re-release, for example, Gunsmith Cats, which is another one on my list, and just make it Gunsmith Cats all over again. I mean, I just don't see a reason for it. You know, put your talents and your resources into something else to make fans of other properties happy. But that being said, Gunsmith Cats I think would be a really great one. It's short. It could be like a 12-episode show. Iria Zyram the Animation was popular enough that it warranted a live-action movie, it's a very like science fiction, heavy science fiction. Iria, one of the smoking hottest badass babes ever. She's so awesome. Wicked City, I feel like could be spread out into like a short series. Super violent, definitely gritty, and would be pretty interesting. And I added one while we were talking because I need more Deedlit and Parn in my life, and I would really like to see more Record of Lodos. Now that's also one of those. It's almost like Sacred Ground, but Deedlit is so hot. Like I just want to see more Deedlit. Like I want more Deedlit and Parn, and I want to go on more like adventures like that with them. So that's my short little list that I didn't talk about.
Mandy, did you have any other items that you'd like to add?
All I had was Ranma 1/2.
That'd be funny.
Dude, that'd be fun. Hell yeah.
The climate is good for a remake of Ranma 1/2, actually.
And it's really it's a really old series that was really beloved, and it worked for Osamatsu-san when they brought that back. So I don't know, it might be good.
I was introduced to Ranma 1/2 in Puerto Rico. I went to there was like a anime and manga store, and this was when I was a kid, and there was no anime or manga stores anywhere, and they just happened to have one in this town we were staying in. And I saw Ranma 1/2, and I'm like, why does that sound familiar? And so I picked it up, and it was awesome.
It's always the panda bear.
Kazuo?
I have two left on my list. One is, again, I was trying to think of a show that wasn't too insanely popular, so it was like still something that I think was really good and it could merit a remake, and that was Outlaw Star.
It does look janky.
Whoa,
It looks a bit janky, but it's an awesome show.
It is awesome.
And like I think it could really benefit from like the modern technology.
Can we remake it but not have Aisha in it at all?
No.
And maybe not Suzuka either. They were such like waste of space extension characters. Like you really only need Gene Starwind, Melfina, and Jim in the show, and that's about it.
Are we doing after party today or hentai episode today?
Hentai episode.
Okay. Then I was gonna pin this one for an after party because I love this show.
Yeah, and the last one I had was one of my guilty pleasures, which is Air Gear.
Dude, wait, okay.
I love Air Gear.
Yeah, dude. It's a guilty pleasure for me too. Oh my god.
And I would love to see them remake that.
All right, guys. Well, if you would like to talk with us more about remakes of shows, you can do it on our Discord, so head over there. And again, thanks to BarinerBert for recommending the topic. And we're going to head to vaster horizons in the next segment. So who would like to read the intro trivia question while I play us out?
I will read it. Our trivia question, which we will answer after the break, is a guess at, or nope, sorry, it's not a guess at anime. It's a legit question this time. So the question is, in K-On!, which is not an instrument played by the band, keyboard, drum, in K-On!, which is an instrument not played by the band? Is it a keyboard, drums, guitar, or harmonica? And we'll answer it after the break.
See you soon.
Hey, all you crazy anime fans out there. Mitsuki's still here. I never went anywhere. It's time for more of your anime news. Starting us off, Anime News Network readers have given their thoughts on the most anticipated anime for 2019, so I'm going to run through the top 10 list for you. The top 10 are Date A Live, Magical Girl Spec Ops Asuka, The Moros Mononokean, Kaguya-sama Love is War, Kakegurui, Dororo, Shield Hero, Boogie Pop, and others, Mob Psycho 100, and The Promised Neverland. Mob Psycho 100 being deseated by The Promised Neverland, which has already been shown to be very popular all over the internet. Next up, we have some news coming out of Japan. Animator and illustrator Loud Draw is going to be creating his own anime studio to a 24-year-old talent. Has announced that he's founding a studio called Flat Studio. He was a professional illustrator on many projects. He's worked on works such as I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, his novel, and apparently he's very talented. Some of the artwork here in this article looks very beautiful, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what kind of art he can put into anime properties when they start animating things, whenever they get around to getting set up. Next up, Funimation has announced that the Dragon Ball Super Broly film, which has been ridiculously popular in Japan, is going to be the first anime film to be released in IMAX. It's going to be coming on IMAX on January 16th only. No idea why they put these big anime movies out for one whopping day. It doesn't make much sense to me. But if you want to get your tickets, you can get them from the IMAX website. Definitely want to check out a historic release of an anime in IMAX on January 16th. Dragon Ball Super, the Broly film, which I am also looking forward to seeing. And lastly, the PlayStation 4 has made some announcements from Sony Interactive Entertainment that they have sold more than 91.6 million units globally as of December 31st of this year, with more than 5.6 million units being sold just in the holiday season alone, which puts it up there with pretty much any of the prior PlayStations, well, maybe with the exception of the PlayStation 2. Pretty big. PlayStation 4 getting ready to eclipse the PlayStation 3 possibly in this next year. This is Mitsuki, and this was your anime news break. Now, getting us back to the podcast.
Mandy, I've got a great idea.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, what if, now, hear me out. What if we did additional episodes? I'm talking hobby addicts, after parties, maybe even hentai episodes, if you're nasty.
Well, I mean, we already do all of those.
Hold on, what?
Yeah, we've been doing that for like years.
How did I not know about this?
You've been in like a ton of those episodes.
Come on, Mandel.
My name is Mandy.
Okay, Medward. You know I don't pay attention to things like that.
Like yourself speaking?
Huh? Well, I'm glad now we're making millions off these extra episodes.
Actually, they're only like a couple bucks a month.
Wait, what?
Yeah, if you go to AAAPodcast.com/join, you can sign up to get access to all of our extra podcast goodness for just a few bucks a month.
Whoa, that is a steal. All right, so where do I go to sign up?
I just told you. AAAPodcast.com/join. And besides, you're in those episodes.
Huh?
Just go to AAAPodcast.com/join already.
この番組は J-list.com の提供でお送りします。
You've heard of Confessions of a Popedom, but now comes the heartwarming tale of Kazuo.
I don't know any country songs, so I'm trying to like sing along to songs I don't know and getting drunk with some grandma.
From the best-selling authors of Her Moe Majesty and the best Yuri bartender in Florida comes Growing Up Kazuo.
First time I was in a shootout, 2 years old. South Bronx, going across the street in my baby stroller. My uncle was pushing me, and a shootout broke out in the middle of the street.
Be there through the formative years.
So I was 16, I think, and my family went on a cruise to the Bahamas. For some reason, they thought it was a good idea to give me and him, his name's Steve, our own room.
Yeah.
These two young men, let's give them their own room. What trouble could they possibly get into? As we're walking onto the cruise ship for the first time, we're walking through the hallway. There's like a door that's ajar, and I open it, and I look inside. It's like a janitorial closet, so there's like brooms and mops and whatnot. And there's also a big bottle of whiskey just sitting in this janitorial closet. And I'm like, okay, mental note, close the door. So later on that night, we pick up the bottle of whiskey, get completely trashed. We're basically drunk the entire cruise.
Will a child's dreams come true?
It wasn't even an option growing up. Like it was a dream that a young poor boy had. And then I was like, one day I'm gonna go to Japan. And it was like,
Believe it. Gonna go to Japan?
and I was like, that's never gonna happen. That's not possible. Like at best, you will not end up in prison.
And tales of young love.
My first like real kiss. Like we've all had like when we were kids, you little peck, you're playing spin the ball or something like that. But my first real like sexual kiss, like makeout session. And we end up, her and I make our way to her bedroom. So this is about to get super explicit. She's got him on one side, me on the other. Then have you ever heard of an Eiffel Tower?
Growing Up Kazuo. Flying off bookshelves everywhere. Order yours now on Amazon or by visiting www.AAAPodcast.com. Now, back to the show. Welcome back to the 455th episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. We had an intro trivia question. In K-On!, which is not an instrument played by the band, keyboard, drums, guitar, or harmonica? Kazuo, do you know?
The answer, Mitz, would be the harmonica.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's correct,
Yeah.
harmonica. All right. K-On!, fun little show.
I enjoyed it.
All right.
Second season,
I like K-On! I just wish they actually performed. They just never performed.
All right.
Oh my god. All right, we do have.
It's time for iTunes review.
Oh boy.
All right, so we have a 5-star review from iTunes. It's very long. Who would like to read it?
I got it.
Oh, well,
I can do
Enzo
it.
shall read it.
Oh, okay. I shall read it. Oh my
Holy
god! Wait.
holy moly! What happened, Enzo?
I'm sorry. I did it.
Just read it.
He zoomed in on the dock.
We have a 5-star review here from another old man saying, "Great product, 5 stars." And they say, "I wasn't actually an anime fan when I started listening to this podcast. I had seen Akira and Ghost in the Shell way back in the day, but beyond that, it just wasn't something I had ever gotten into. When a friend started a social media group around movies and television and wanted a moderator that focused on anime, I volunteered to fill the position just until he found someone who was qualified. In order to learn more about what I signed up for, I started looking for a podcast that could teach me a little something about anime. I tried a couple different podcasts before finding this one, but since this one, I haven't bothered with any others. The layout is perfectly segmented. They cover a wide variety of topics. They are knowledgeable about the subject, and their excitement has turned me into a huge anime watcher. I always look forward to their reviews, even if I yell at the computer now and then. Each host brings a unique and informed perspective to the topic. Mandy and Enzo have been incredible additions to the lineup and provide humor that can often provide reviews and guidance towards some excellent and often less mainstream shows. Kazuo always brings a lighthearted humor that can often mask his surprisingly in-depth insight, and Mitsuki, in addition to his intimidating knowledge, provides a foundation that keeps the show running smooth and professional. Not only do you learn a lot about anime, old and new, by the time each episode is over, you feel like you just spent the last few hours hanging out with some of your best friends. Not only has this podcast made me an anime fan, I am now also an avid reader of Japanese history, and I've taken the first steps towards learning the language. Bro!
Well, that it is.
Congratulations on doing those things. Thank you so much for writing so much and being so honest with us. I am very happy that you say that me and Mandy have been good additions. I think about that all the
Thank
time. I'm doing a
you.
good job. So thank
That's
you
me.
so much. Thank you so much.
And from one old man to another.
You're doing well.
I love you.
I love you.
All right, we have a review now on Sirius the Jaeger.
Me too.
Which is I don't know who picked this anime.
Enzo
the burrito picked this anime.
Yes.
Sirius the Jaeger. It's a Netflix property. Enzo, would you like to do the honors?
Absolutely. So, and here we'll begin the spoiler-free review of Sirius the Jaeger. Synopsis on Mal reads: This series takes place in the imperial capital of 1930. A group of people known as Jaegers landed on Tokyo Station. They carry musical instrument cases and came to hunt vampires. A man named Yuli stood among them with a striking serenity and unusual aura. Known as a werewolf who had his home village destroyed by vampires, he and the Jaegers engaged in battle against the mysterious holy ark known as the Ark of Sirius. What truth awaits them? So like Mitsuki mentioned, this is a anime that was licensed by Netflix and has streamed exclusively on there, so it came out later in the season. The studio that worked on it was PA Works, which is a studio that I usually tend to trust when they make something. The director is Masahiro Ando, who has worked on Hansaku Iroha Snow White with the red hair.
Oh, I love that show.
And so I'm actually really curious about what you guys thought, expected about this anime going in. I personally watched the trailer and I was really engaged by it. I think the trailer sold the look, style, and animation well, with some good music. So going in, I was expecting an action-packed, adventure type show, and I was looking forward to it.
Well, the first thing I did was I rolled my eyes. Because
why?
Because it has Jaeger in the title.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, okay, Japan's rock hard erection with German stuff aside, I just thought, okay, well, great, Jaeger, Attack on Titan. So I rolled my eyes at that, and then I thought, oh, it's a Netflix show, so it probably looks really damn good. And then after that, I had no thoughts at all because I knew nothing about it. Nothing.
Right.
Not a thing.
What about you, Kazuo?
Yeah, I hadn't really heard anything about it. Knowing that it was a Netflix show, I expected that it would at the very least look good. And just from reading the synopsis, I'm always down for vampires and stuff. So
yeah,
I thought it would be an action-packed fun show.
And Mandy, what did you expect going in?
I'm sorry. I went into it completely blind. I did watch the trailer and I knew that it had something to do with vampires and werewolves. And then when I turned it on, the very first voice I heard was Dio, and I was like, "Yep, this is a vampire show," and I got real excited to watch it.
Gotcha. So it seems like we weren't negative going into this at all. It seems like we were all pretty positive or neutral going in. So with that in mind, I actually want to know what you guys, whether or not you guys would recommend this to someone. So spoiler free, would you guys recommend this show? Mitsuki, you can start.
Oh, okay. I would say yes and no. So as usual, this anime being on Netflix looks amazing. It has just blistering some awesome fight scenes in it, and overall the show looks awesome. The music, awesome. The story, it's arguable, I guess, but I found the story to be a little weak. The characters were pretty weak. I think that if you're a person who likes vampire stuff, then this is probably a good watch for you. It is a little, it's a little violent, so if you like vampire stuff and you're into that, it'll probably scratch your itch. If you're looking for an action show that has a lot of fantastic scenes with good pacing, and you're into watching an action-packed show, and you're not really too concerned about having symbolism or deep thoughts about it, then this is probably a great show for you. Just personally, I don't really think there was a lot of story depth to be taken from it, so just keep that in mind. And if you're okay with that, and you're just in for a visual feast, then yeah, I'd recommend it for those people.
Gotcha. Andy?
I was the same. I thought that the story was very shallow. It's nothing new at all, and there are some plot points I felt really weird and kind of didn't go anywhere. And also the characters, except for the exception of one, all felt very one note and kind of very weak. But outside of that, I mean, it was a really fun watch, though. Like, it's weird because I was telling you before we started the podcast that it didn't do anything that I hated, but it also didn't do anything that made me think, wow, this is really something special. I was like, it was all right. So that's kind of where I'm at. I would recommend it to somebody who wants to just see some fun action, and that's it. If you're looking for like an in-depth character study, this isn't for you.
Right. Yeah. How about you, Kazuo?
I'm totally with you guys on this one. I feel like this is a good show to kind of like throw on in the background, and then whenever a fight scene comes on, plop down on the couch and be like, oh, let me check this out. And then just kind of like let it play while you're cleaning your apartment or something like that. Yeah. So I wanted it to be good because I'm all about like vampires and werewolves and all that stuff.
I'm into vampire chicks.
Well,
but there wasn't a lot of hot.
But what about the hunter?
Yeah.
You mean the Jaeger?
The Jaeger lady.
But yeah. So it's kind of like a mindless show that you can just throw on and check out some cool fight scenes every now and then.
Yeah. So I'm pretty much with you guys. I would say that I would recommend it to someone that isn't looking for anything crazy deep or that's hard to follow or like expecting any crazy plot twist or anything. I think that this show is, as Mandy said, it does nothing, bad. Nothing made me go, oh, that's a minus. Oh, that's a minus. Oh, that's a minus. It really came down to just overall enjoyment for me, and I liked it more than I didn't. But it's nothing that blew my mind away. I think I'm with Mitz when he says that the action is cool and the pacing of the story is very digestible. Like you will press play on episode 1 and all of a sudden you're like on episode 4 and it's just like, whoa, that just happened. Like, okay. So I would recommend it to someone that isn't looking for anything crazy deep. It is just a fun anime that came out in 2018. So with all that, that's our spoiler-free recommendation. We're going to move into talking about deeper concepts and plot points and characters in our spoiler section for Sirius the Jaeger. So you have 10 seconds after this. You have 10 seconds while this drop plays.
Get your booty out of here.
Spoilers are coming.
Join us.
Oh my god.
Bye-bye. Okay.
Get your ass out of here.
Get your ass to Maz.
Unless you've seen it.
Unless you've seen it, please.
If you've seen
What
it,
is
please
that
stay.
from?
Please stay. Please stay.
That's my second Arnold Schwarzenegger quote of the day.
Hey, for those of you that skip the news breaks, I just want to throw this out there real quick. For the first time ever, an anime movie is coming to IMAX, and it's happening on this coming Wednesday, the 16th.
Get hyped.
And it is the Dragon Ball Z movie, the Broly movie, is coming to IMAX. Kazuo and I were just talking about it on the news break. However, there are no IMAXs in our area that are playing it, which is sad. However, someone like Enzo probably will get to see it no problem because you're in New York City.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna buy tickets soon, like tomorrow, like today.
So I just wanted to throw that out there for the people that are listening live, because
come on, do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
What's your sissy boy?
That's my third Arnold Schwarzenegger quote of the day.
So moving into spoilers about Sirius the Jaeger, what do you guys think about the overall story? And I think this is where we might probably get the biggest minus for how we felt. Who would like to start with this one?
I'll go. So I thought that the first half of this show was very satisfying to me. I don't care that the story is not deep and complicated. I mean, half the time I feel like anime does a shit job of explaining its stories anyway. So, I'm fine with a non-convoluted storyline. 100%. Make it simple, execute it well. I'm cool with it. However, it became a little silly in the second half of the show. I was a lot happier with it when it was just like, these Jaegers are hunting down vampires, and my brother's a vampire, and I was fine with that. I'm like, okay, that's kind of a little predictable, but okay, it's cool.
Cliche.
It's cool. It could have been better it could have been better that if just the two brothers had collided at the end in an epic battle that was really sad and dramatic. I mean, I don't know, but it was a little lacking on the storyline, and honestly, I think it took itself way the hell too seriously in the second half, like way too much, like I'm a god and all this drama and blah blah. Gotta do it for the Sirius. A Sirius has to do this, and a Jaeger has to. Like, I don't give a shit.
Serious business.
Yeah, it's very serious. Just fight.
I'm kind of with you in terms of story, because the first half, I will say the first half, the whole show has great pacing. I think they hit beats at a very constant rate that are, at least intriguing enough to be like, okay, that's happening. Okay, that's happening. Okay, that's happening. I didn't feel much drag at all on the show, which is good. That's hard to do. But I think where the switch goes a little to the minus side for me is when it becomes like, it goes from like, we are the Jaegers, we are taking out vampires for our own personal reasons, and Yuli's is for vengeance, and then it becomes like just fully about like getting the arc to restore Sirius pride,
right?
And I think that's definitely where it suffers, because it kind of like, I wanted to see a good revenge story. They locked me in for that, and then it became about the arc, and fully about the arc.
The arc of Sirius.
The arc of Sirius, and it I don't think they did a good job with making it feel that important, and that's why the stakes kind of fell down for me.
I was totally into it up until the point where they're like, oh, but there's another arc that controls the real one. I was like, what?
Yeah,
how are you going to pull that shit out of nowhere?
Oh my God.
It's been in my pocket the whole time.
Dude, that frustrated me so
They're
much.
like, we better go get the other arc. I was like, what other arc?
Yeah.
What?
And it's funny because when they got to Dogsville to like get the second the controlling the darker arc ball thing,
the dark arc
the dark arc ball, yeah. It's so funny to me because like Dr. Willard, like he goes into the altar room, which is an important room, so like the vampires must have gone into that room, and like he goes to like the one place in the altar that has markings and plays around with the fucking wall. You're gonna tell me that these vampires that have lived for eternity didn't have the mind to go into the altar, look at the place that had markings and mess around with it because they weren't around in ancient times?
Bro, they're not doctors.
Bruh, they're eternal.
They should hire Willard to go find the arc. He was the only one that could read the book, right?
Basically,
yeah. And that stayed consistent in a good way, but like I didn't buy that like the vampires didn't press down on the markings at all to see if something moved or not. I don't know. I thought I agree with you that finding that second arc thing was so cheap. It was such a
vampires are real bad at escape rooms.
Yeah.
Fact.
Real bad. They don't
I like that. I like that a lot. Oh my God. Right, exactly, and that's something that definitely took stakes away from me too. Kaiser, are you on the same boat, sorta?
Yeah. As you guys know, like the two most important things to me out of any medium, whether it's movies, TV, books, any anime, it's characters followed by story, and the story in the show was super basic in its overall structure. It's ultimately just the hunt for the MacGuffin, which is such a cliche, but it can be done well. There are many movies that do it quite well.
Most movies aren't that original anymore.
Yeah, and or anime that do it quite well.
Correct.
But in this case, it seemed as if things were pieced together for convenience, and there were times throughout the story where they committed what is for me a sin of storytelling, which is they told instead of showing. You know what I'm saying? Like they always say, show don't tell. Like show me what your character, or not, like what you're feeling, what's going on, what the motives are, what the plot is. Like show me. But instead, you have people just espousing dialogue, and just being like, this is what is happening, and this is why we must go where we must go. And it's like, that's terrible. This is a horrible way to tell a story.
Are you thinking about in the scene that did this the most? I'm so glad you brought. I think I blocked this out of my mind because I actually hate this as well. Is the part where Yuli and Bishop are on the snow mountain and they like run into the genius dude with the tank and the and whatever. And
yes.
And the scientist dude literally word for word verbatim spells out the entire vampire plan.
Yeah.
About getting the Ark to like cure the medicine or whatever.
Yes. 100%.
What the fuck was that?
And there were several moments like that where it was just like,
well, that character was awful.
Yeah.
I didn't like him too much either. But I think you're not supposed to like him. Like he's a fucking gremlin, dude. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, just
oh,
him in there.
the crazy weird dude. He's definitely a Warcraft boss.
Warcraft
he is
boss?
definitely Warcraft boss. Let me show you. What was his name? Professor. Oh shoot, what was his name in Warcraft?
Oh my god! If you find that, that's so funny. But yeah, I think that's a great fucking point, guys.
Professor Putricide.
Oh my god!
No,
send me a picture of that later because I want to know.
It's a shame, because I thought that the show was through the first half of it. I thought it was like really good. It felt good to me. It started off quick. It had a lot of good action. There was great stuff happening all the time. Even all the way up through like the train scene with the trains where they had the big fight on the train.
Yeah, I like that one.
I was on board with the show all the way through there. I was even on board with the show through the point where they were attacking the estate and they had the fight up on the roof, which was super cool.
I was super in for that. Yeah.
There's some really neat, like just badass fight choreography. And I think it was everything after that when they started to break the story open and he reveals that like the professor is, sort of responsible for what happened at Dogville. Everything past that point is where the show went downhill for me. Actually, it went really downhill. I mean, I thought the show, to me, up through the fight on the roof with Kirshner or whatever his name was, the show was like a 4. I don't know. I really liked it. Like it was a 4. It was around a 4, maybe even like
locked in.
Maybe even between a 4 and a 4.5 at that point. But the end of the show, I just rolling my eyes one after another.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that fight on the roof, post fight with the conversation with the professor, that is one of those moments where they committed that sin of show don't tell, because in that moment he's talking to the professor and he's like, you're like a father to me and I care so much about you and I feel these ways and now you have done this thing that is making me conflicted, and he's like expressing like he's just putting out exposition about how he feels and all this other stuff and their history together. And instead of showing you their history together or showing you that they have a close relationship, he's just like, we have a close relationship and now I feel betrayed. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that they were that close until that moment.
No, you didn't. That's the problem.
It's funny you say that because I think Mandy, that's why I didn't buy that emotional exposition. I thought it was very empty sounding.
Yeah.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. No. I'm talking about because you said that you didn't even know they were close up to that point, and I didn't realize that. I kind of felt the same way. I'm thinking that's why it felt like an empty exposition.
Right.
When he's crying to him, I'm just like, you felt this strongly? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Even though the show was a disappointment, like all the way down the stretch, I still think Netflix is doing the right thing.
I agreed.
I think that they took a shot. Netflix has had a pretty good success rate for me. Clear back to Knights of Sidonia, which is kind of where I feel like Netflix started doing these exclusive shows. Like Knights of Sidonia, Ajin, there was The Children of the Whales, there was the show with the gem people.
Oh, yeah.
There was, Be the Beginning, this, a Devil Man. Like there's been they've had really good success, at least for me, with shows. And a lot of that is the fact that the production values are insane. And, so even though this show doesn't really hit the home run down the stretch, I still think Netflix is making the right choices. Sure. And the tone of their shows are to my liking.
Yeah. So
can we talk about the ending?
Yeah. Yes. So it seems like we were all kind of like in the beginning, and then the mid is where we started going downhill, and then we get to the ending. Mandy, how did you feel about that?
I'm confused. The little vampire girl on the train, did she die? Like, did she die from the illness and vanished?
Can they teleport? Did the vampires teleport at any moment in the show?
No,
I don't remember.
No,
but I was thinking, why did he not cure their illness already? He said, "Oh, I don't. I'm confused. Okay, so all of a sudden the objective is I want all of the races to live. I no longer hate vampires. I want this all to get to belong. Okay, but it didn't work for your father. How's it gonna work for you? I'm confused.
I don't think they could cure the illness without the MacGuffin. That right?
Well, he has them both. He ate both of them. He was in his eyeball at the end.
Oh, at the very end.
Yeah. Very
yeah.
Like
well,
when
I don't
Yuli,
think he.
when Yuli has the power.
Are you talking about when
Yeah.
Yuli has it?
Yeah, at the very end.
Yeah, she's talking about the train scene all the way at the end.
At the very, very end. Oh, okay.
Super
Yeah,
fucking end. Yeah,
where the other little girl, the one that didn't die, I forgot her name. There were two girls. One was shot by Bishop, and the other one followed Yuli on the train. And I assumed she had the illness because all of a sudden you see dust fly away, and he shuts the window, and then you hear her voice. It's like, please heal our disease or something like that. I can't remember, but
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I don't know if the MacGuffin can cure the illness. Like I know they mentioned.
It can turn you into a giant freako vampire.
Yeah.
So is that something they just assumed?
Like I think that the main bad guy wanted that power, and so he was just like, and again, this is just my theory, that he was like, oh, if I get this power, then I can cure everyone. But immediately when he got it, he started like killing his own kind and stuff like that.
Yeah, he did have black arc.
So really, he just wanted the power.
He wanted the power.
Dark arc. That was it.
He sort of explains it. He said, oh, now that I have this power, the vampire race will wash over the world, well,
he was going to create a new race.
Yeah, he was going to go around and infect billions of people, and he's like, well, screw the vampires that we've got. Now that maybe we can't cure the illness, but we can create another race of vampires that are stronger and tougher. That we're gonna recreate the vampire race, not save the old one.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I took it.
But when he transformed, fabulous sparkle pants.
Yeah,
fabulous. Right? I was like, is this Yuri on Ice?
Fabulous.
I was like, what's happening?
And then when he dies and all those sparkles fly, I'm like, fabulous. He lived and died.
Fabulous death. Fabulous death.
I don't have much more to say, guys. Like, I think we could score it at this point. Anybody else have anything else to say?
Did you want to talk about characters? Because we didn't talk about his brother at all.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about him.
Mikhail.
Well,
who's my favorite character?
Almost all the characters in the show, other than the two brothers, aren't worth talking about. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Like, especially all the Jaegers, there's no backstory at all.
I think the Jaegers, like, they're aesthetically cool. They do their job with like filling the world a little bit for Yuli, but Yuli gets a lot of backstory. The professor does like a little bit, I guess. But I agree that the thing about the show though, like even though we're like mentioning all the minuses, none of it was to me a huge minus to the point where I didn't like the show. Like it's all of this to me, like all the characters are just fine. Like they're like not bad. They're not bad, except for
all I wanted to say in the character department was I really liked Mikhail because there was a while there where I thought that he was misleading his brother Yuli.
Same, yeah.
But then towards the end, I was like, no, he really does love him and care for him.
But you know what? I would have preferred if he was misleading him.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he was. I loved him.
Like I wanted him to. What I wanted for his character was for him to be like, and I literally, as I'm watching this, I'm thinking to myself, I was thinking I would love this line of dialogue, and I said something to the effect of, if he were to be talking to Yuli and be like, if he were to talk to him and say like your brother cared a lot about you, but he's gone, and like he is no longer he is the monster now. Like that's what I would have preferred.
I liked, and I thought the brother. I don't know who mentioned it earlier, but that the ending was going to be brother versus Yuli, like Mikhail versus Yuli for the ending finale.
Yeah,
I thought that was going to happen because of the part where Mikhail is like, "Listen, dude, if it ever gets out of control, my vampire shit, if it ever gets out of control, like you have to kill me." I was hoping that like Mikhail at some point has to sacrifice what's left of his humanity and become full demon or full vampire, and then like Yuli has to do his final deed, which is like, okay, like. This is not my brother anymore. I have to accept this and kill him and call it a day. Like I thought that was how it was going to end. I kind of wish it went that way. It'd be more interesting and more like it would hit the heartstrings more. But
I think he mentioned that because He did love his brother, but knew that he was just a pawn and he could be controlled at any moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But I liked him. He was my
Yeah.
favorite.
Do we all agree that the animation was probably one of the bigger
Yes.
good things
Insane.
about
It
the
was
show?
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Right?
Although
And the character designs were solid too.
there were like I noticed in like the second to last episode, it like dipped dramatically, but then
It
picked
did.
back up.
I noticed that too.
Yeah, where I was like, whoa, did they run out of budget? And then they picked it up in like the last episode and a half.
Yeah,
they
towards
definitely
the end,
budgeted
it
over
really
there.
started to diminish, and especially the scene where the main vampire dude exploded into sparkles. It looked kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Final note for main characters, Ryoko. I don't know what the purpose of her.
She was a nothing.
Wait,
I
which
don't
one's
know.
the Ryoko,
The daughter of the daughter of the business guy.
Yeah. I don't know
Yep,
what that
no
was all
idea.
about. Yeah.
I do want to say before we go into scoring, I want to read a quote from the show that made me fucking lull for like 10 whole minutes straight.
Oh,
All right,
geez.
let's hear it.
This
excited.
was said by Bishop when he was fighting one of the vampire girls. He goes because he is a vampire who
I think I know what you're talking
Yeah.
doesn't
about.
really want to
Bishop the cowboy. Wait,
Bishop
he's a
the
cowboy,
cowboy.
but he's English?
Yeah,
He was
what-
British Secret
whatever.
Service.
But he's a cowboy.
Oh no, that was a lie too. He's not British.
Giddy
Secret
up.
Service. Yeah.
Alright.
Anyway, Bishop says while fighting one of the vampire girls, sucking blood like a demon mosquito is boring as hell. Even babies suck on something much better than
Oh,
that.
I love that. That was so
I
funny.
was like, what the fuck? Like,
awesome.
of all the lines of dialogue, you're gonna go with even babies suck on
Hell
something
yeah.
much better than that.
Nice.
And then he shoots her, your luggage.
Yeah. And
Arnold Schwarzenegger quote.
So,
Rock
with
on,
that-
baby.
with that, we go into conclusions. Who would like to go first?
Well, I feel like it's your show, Enzo, so you want to go first?
I would like to go last.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he wants the final word.
Nice.
Well, I think my word is worth the least, so I'll go first. All right, so
jeez.
I would say that this show was like it was a diamond where the it looks nice, but it has many inclusions in itself, and it's probably like a very like an S grade diamond, like very low grade.
I don't know what this means.
It means that it looks pretty, but it's very flawed.
Okay.
You gotta learn some diamond language, my man. Diamonds are forever.
Oh,
Are
God.
diamonds flawed?
They are. Diamonds have
Are they?
inclusion. They have inclusions in them, and that's a lot of what how diamonds are priced is based on their cut
Pure.
and their clarity.
The 4 C's.
Yeah,
You know, 3 C's.
4 C's. So the show is good. It's a good show. It's not like amazing. It's silly at the end. I wish the end wasn't how it was. It would have been a lot better if they just made it simple and stuck to what they were doing, which was let's do all these investigations and hunt down the vampires and kill them. Like that would have been a better show actually. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it's a tale of two halves. So in my other chart that I made last week, where I had the line chart, this show started off at like a 4, and then it was fluctuating around 4 and 4.5. I would say up until about episode 7,
Yeah.
and then once episode 8 started, it started to go down a little bit, and I would say that it's going to finish up somewhere around 3 vampires disappearing into ash out of 5, because
Nice.
it was just an okay show. I did like Ryoko. She was a spunky, cool girl character. I liked her. She doesn't get the man though. Sorry.
Yeah. Rex.
Okay.
Kazuo, Mandy.
Mandy, do you
I
wanna
don't want to go next.
Okay. Well, all right then. Fine. Be that way. I will go next.
I don't want to go.
I'm thinking.
Oh, okay. That's fine. So, we said a lot of negative stuff about the show, but I will say overall, it was a fun watch. Like, it wasn't a slog to get through. Like, I enjoyed parts of it. I wish like anime creators would just hit us up and be like, "Hey man, what do you think about this?" And then we'd be like, "All right, here's what you need to do." Instead
I
of
don't.
this-
They should never ask me.
I feel like, you know what? Because I feel like we always in our reviews end up rewriting the show to be better. But no.
I feel like just make it about me, Kyle. Please.
Oh God. Oh no. So overall, like as we discussed, the action was fun. The animation was good for most of it. The characters were, forgettable. for the most part. I will say I feel like it was certainly better than average. So if I were to give that a numerical value, I would say a 3.5 out of 5. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, then.
Mando.
Everything that has been said is something I would have said.
Yeah.
So basically, I thought, like I said before, nothing happened that I hated, except I was like, what the heck with the whole new arc development. That kind of irritated me. But outside of that, it was a fun watch. I mean, I definitely don't think I'm gonna remember it though. I don't at all. Yeah, I think I would give it a 3. What do I want to give it? Sexy vampire shots.
Nice.
Because it's true. Every time there's a vampire show, as soon as you're a vampire, boom, you're sexy. That's what happens.
I just
How
want.
you speak like
It's
a
the
king.
truth.
It's
Science.
I just want a hot vampire girl to bite me.
What about the vampire lady at the beginning?
Yeah, definitely.
Short hair one? Yeah,
Oh
she
yeah,
was cool.
yeah.
I would
I
definitely.
thought the
serve-
hunter lady was pretty attractive.
Yeah, Dorothea is
Dorothy,
my type
yeah.
of woman. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so I will echo what you guys are saying. I think this show, as Mandy put it, didn't do anything that offended me. I don't mean to use the word offended like that, but like, that made me like give it any minus points. Like super big minus points. So it turns out that the show really is like, it's fine. It's just it's a bit more than your standard. I think what really killed it for me is that the stakes of the story became a little convoluted, and then like the drama didn't really keep up with itself. Like it didn't really soar up and maintain where it was in the beginning. At the beginning, I felt there was a really good rush of vengeance and purpose for Yuli. Near the middle, he became all of a sudden he was like he 180'd on vampires, and like it's
Super quick.
I didn't really believe it. I didn't buy it. Like I think that's the writing is what unfortunately killed this show. It had all the pieces to become something really special. So with that, I do think I won't be watching this one again unless a friend wanted to. I don't think I'll remember it, but in the moment where it's fresh in my mind, I do think it's better than most of the shit that we get sometimes. So I will give it 3.5 arcs out of 5.
All right, so that's going to round up to a 3.5 for
Nice.
Sirius
So
the Jaeger.
3.5 arcs?
3.5 arcs.
What's the half an arc?
It's in the other place that
The
came out
other
of
arc.
nowhere.
There's a third arc.
It's the third arc.
Damn it!
Yes.
And we didn't talk about it a lot, but I loved the backstory for the kids. I thought the backstory was awesome. And
Yeah.
Yes.
in a super
I want
awesome,
to see them turn into werewolves.
a super awesome fight scene with the brother where he took on like 4 vampires at once. That
Yeah.
was cool. That was the show in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Awesome fight choreography, just badass as hell. I loved it. All right, I love the fights. Okay, and with that, mailbag time.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The first mailbag we got. Wait. How do people submit mailbags, guys?
Well, Enzo, I'm glad
A
you
button.
asked. If you go to our website, AAAPodcast.com, along the very top, you can click on mailbags and more and drop us a line, just like Icy Rose did.
I'll read it. Icy Rose writes, "Oh, a quick and unusually easy question this time. Have you ever watched an episode of a new anime thoroughly and enjoyed it, but for some reason are so satisfied with it as a standalone work that you don't feel compelled at all to watch any more of the series?" And I can honestly say no.
What?
No.
Normally
Nope.
I'm like, okay, next episode, please.
Interesting concept of a question, but no.
Yeah.
If something catches my eye, I need more.
All
Now,
right,
now have you watched the
to
first
think.
episode that was awesome, and then the rest of the anime was just complete shit? Oh yeah,
that happens a lot.
all the time.
Yeah, that happens
All right,
a lot more.
next mailbag.
Next one is from Venom XS. Hello, AAA. I'm a new listener, and I was wondering how y'all felt about animes being alternate timelines to the manga. Spoilers! Oh, the big spoiler.
Should
I not read
you don't
that?
need to spoil it. You don't need to spoil it.
Okay, but it's about Fuka.
Okay.
Whoa, well, that's a crazy spoiler. Holy
I
crap.
know. Now I'm like, man, I want to read the manga.
Yeah, I watched that whole anime bit. Like, wow.
I don't love this because I feel like my first question is, okay, well, who's writing the alternate storyline?
Mm-hmm.
And my second question is that why would you do that unless you just want us to go buy the manga to read the actual storyline?
You know what?
I think if it was purposefully done in a cool, say in Steins Gate, for example, like the anime is one timeline and the manga is one timeline, and then like they both crisscross into one timeline at the same time, that would be sick.
Yeah.
But just for tell a different story, then I don't know, like whatever. It's whatever. I'd be fine, but I probably wouldn't buy in.
I am on the fence about this one because I do think it could be very good. And they're like, if you look at like Western media, you look at like the Marvel Cinematic Universe is technically a different universe than the comics, and even the comics have multiple different universes. So it's like, I think you can take a set of characters or a story and then just write a completely unique story to the anime, and that would be cool. But it might not always. So it's kind of like really dependent on the like that particular situation.
Good reference, dude. Good reference.
Fuka is only available on Kindle. Now I'm sad, but I'm confused because book number 8's cover. Okay, now I want to read it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, last mailbag.
Next mailbag comes from. Oh, go ahead. You know what, Enzo? You go ahead.
Yeah. Next one comes from Albion Seer. They say, "Hi AAA crew. After listening to episode 442 on Forgotten Grades, I was wondering about how today's anime will age. Do you have any predictions for newer anime that, while great and popular now, yet will be forgotten in 5 to 10 years? For example, I predict Violet Evergarden won't be widely remembered despite being great and popular." I kind of see Violet Evergarden becoming that.
Yeah.
I think. You know what? I'm gonna go up and look at the nominees for Crunchyroll's awards.
My Hero will never be forgotten.
Yeah, My Hero will never be forgotten. That's for sure. I do think nobody will give a fuck about Megalobox in like
nobody in about
2 years.
in about 6 weeks.
In about 45 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love A Place Further in the Universe, but I don't think it will be a phenomena in 5 years or 10 years. Even Devilman Crybaby, like I think it's gonna be it's eternal for me. So it's A Place Further in the Universe, but for the community at large, I don't know,
dude.
I mean,
it's hard to say.
Yeah, it's sad because there's so many great anime that are just like I was thinking of Shirobako the other day, and I'm like, nobody remembers Shirobako, and that was like a couple years ago, and it was awesome. But it's just the way it is.
This question goes back to my general comment about the anime fandom, and it's the same reason why anime conventions do the same stuff every year, because as one of the members of Anime World Order told me once while we were in my living room, the anime fandom turns over every 2 years. And they're like generally, and this is not any of the fans that listens to this podcast.
Yeah, we have a very specific audience.
Very specific. And if you're a person that's like listening to anime podcasts, you are most likely a very hardcore and probably long-time fan of anime.
Or open to become someone that's really into anime. Yeah.
Like, you're not the general person, right? That's running around anime cons screaming.
You're special.
You're special. So I don't really I'm not speaking to any of those people, but like a lot of anime fans only stick around and watch anime for like 2 years, and that's it. So given that, my answer to this question is that all of them will be forgotten.
To the sands of time.
Because, like, you know, you can't look at it from our perspective where it's like, oh yeah, of course I remember Macross. Do you remember Love? Oh, and of course I remember Ninja Scroll. But if you go out like on the street and ask some general anime person at an anime con, have you seen Macross? Do you remember Love? No. Maybe 1 out of 20 of them will have seen it.
Ninja Scroll, I feel like they will though.
Maybe. I mean, literally,
Who doesn't remember Ninja Scroll?
You'll never forget Ninja Scroll.
It doesn't.
No one will ever forget Ninja Scroll.
I don't think so. I don't think people have seen it. I don't think they have access to it. Is it even out on Blu-ray? Is it even out on DVD? I don't know.
Yes.
But it looks old.
Because I had it at one point.
People don't even have DVD players today. I have one device that plays a DVD.
I have multiples.
Yeah, but we're not.
Why do you have multiple DVD players?
We're different.
I mean, my Blu-ray players play DVDs.
Mandy, but you aren't even close to the general anime fan. None of us are. So like,
yeah, you're not normal.
Most
Mandy.
of the anime fans are like late, or they're in their teens, early 20s, and like people they don't own devices that play DVDs. Even I barely do, and I'm old as shit.
That's true.
So my thought, so my personal answer is none of the shows are spared from this. They will all be forgotten.
Yeah.
Generally,
I feel like
generally,
shows just from mass marketing, but not for like what they are.
If you bring on other anime podcasters and talk about this, they're not forgotten. The other anime fans that are walking the streets, they won't remember because they won't watch anime for that long.
I think there would.
I'll never forget prison school.
Nope, me neither.
There will be
a question though.
Yeah, there will be a handful that stand the test of time, but by far, like most will be forgotten. I'm sure.
Yeah. Even like Darling in the Franxx, I don't think that no one's gonna give a fuck about that show in like 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. Do they give a fuck right now? I don't know.
Of course they do, bro. What?
Nah. No one cares.
All right, Mitz, do you want to bring us home?
Yeah. Okay. So, thanks guys for listening. Another wonderful episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. I hope it was great for you. Again, if you want to help out the podcast,
Was it good for you?
I've had better.
Oh, well, okay.
That's rude.
It's from Liar Liar.
Oh, that's true.
I've had better.
In the elevator.
I've
Or
had
no,
better.
when they're in the...
He's brushing his teeth.
Yeah.
I've had better. All right.
Terrible.
I love that movie. Okay, so yeah, if you want to help out the podcast, AAAPodcast.com/join will get you to the place where you can sign up and help us out, help us make sure we can continue to deliver this podcast to you on a weekly basis. And of course, we will work very hard to bring you extra episodes for your enjoyment.
Yeah.
We will embarrass ourselves just for you as we talk about tentacles and all kinds of other horrific things, which we'll be doing in a few minutes.
Mitz, this background is red. It's
Royal blue.
Royal.
Write it or I'll break it off.
Sorry.
What the heck?
What is
Liar, liar.
happening?
What the heck?
Liar, liar.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Anyway, of course, you can head over to the Discord from the website as well. Submit mailbags. You can submit topic requests there where you do the mailbags. You can submit hentai mailbag requests.
Ooh.
You can submit anime Shark Tanks, Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner. Everything from the website, AAAPodcast.com. Do it. Don't make us cry.
Do it now. Come on.
You can also look
I'm done
at
crying.
you can also look at Icy Rose's compendium of all of the reviews we've ever done from the review tab. And
Come on. Don't bullshit me.
Don't.
Let off some
It's
steam,
not
Bennett.
a tumor. What?
Let off some steam, Bennett. You don't
Follow
know.
us on social media. I'm at Enzo Badia, ENZOBADIA.
I'm at AAA Kazuo. Andy, you're up.
Oh, hi. I'm at AAA_Mandy with an I.
And Pope Mitsugi baby signing you off. Let's do it next
I tweet
time.
about cats. Bye.
Toodles.
And
Love
on
you
that note,
guys. Toodles.